that again. Classic bulk is classic bulk. There we go. Right, so...
That's one issue already.
Howdy you all. Welcome to Considerable Conversations. Today we are going to be counting down our top 25 games of all time. And joining today, we will be having, at some point, Team Considerable Iroquois. He's going to be over there, but at the moment you've got his body double, just there. Body and beard double. To my upper right, we have Team Considerable Harpalop. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Wonderful. Above me, the man on top is Team Considerable Petulant Panda, the man, the myth. How you doing?
Yeah, good. What's up, guys?
Wiggity wiggity wah wah. Now I'm seeing in the chat a lot of people to say hello to. Hello, Bone Jankles, the Janks of the Bone, as Harpalop would say. Tarkamus, all the way from Macedonia, pathologically Asian, who is only here for Panda. We know that. Spectacular Spider Nerd, the most spectacular of the nerds in my humble. We've got Blitz is back in the chat. Booyah! We've got Asian, and Chummy JL from Spain. Welcome, the million miles an hour MK11 player. The man up top, Considerable Bulk. Do you mean in the... Possibly. And of course, Will Trap, Mr. the Chungus. Welcome all, one and all. I'm glad that so many of you are here, and hopefully more people will come in, because your votes are going to count. They're going to make a difference in this whole shebang. Before we do, audio is delayed. That's okay. We can deal with that. I'm very old. Most of my stuff is delayed anyway. Now, can you hear a musical bed, or do I need to make that louder?
True question.
Yes. Is it a trick question? What if I did?
Audio delay is.
What if I did that?
Usually an issue for me. Because I have to, I usually have to put a delay on my camera and my mic, because the footage from the PlayStation comes through on a delay on its own. So I've got to delay me, but the delay differs from game to game. So I have to change the delay basically every time I start streaming. That's why the audio sometimes I think.
I definitely have a massive video delay on my OBS right now. But okay, all right. Well, I'm just gonna assume that the background music is there because
I just muted my mic and listened, and it is there.
Oh, wiggity wiggity wah wah.
I'm wondering if having Chrome open or whatever you're using is
because I've got
taxing
a window.
The system.
It is super taxing the system, and that will be unnecessary once I've gotten past number 23. But speaking of, let's get stuck straight in. I guess I'll go first, and then shall we go clockwise? So, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, should I explain to everyone what we're doing?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so this is what we're doing, everyone. So buckle up, all right? Buckle up and listen good. We've each written our top 25 list, top 25 favorite games of all time. Not the top 25 games that we think are the best of all time. The top 25 our personal favorites of all time. The games we look back on with the most fondness out of any games we've ever played. So for most people, the top of the list would be Modern Warfare 2 because nostalgia goggles are real. What we're going to do is we're each going to state our 25th spot, right? So I'll state my game and put forward a little case for it, and then Bulk and Panda and so on. Then we'll start a poll in the chat, and that poll will go on for 1 minute, where everyone in the chat has to vote for whichever game they want to take the number 25 spot. Once that 1 minute poll is up, then the game is locked in, then we move on to the 24th spot and we repeat the process. And just remember, just because you see a game that you love, don't automatically vote for it straight away, because you never know. If you think one of us has that game further up in our lists, maybe consider holding off on your vote, because once a game is locked in, if it shows up later in the list, it's taken out of the poll, because that game's already locked in. Okay? So, we'll state our games, you guys vote on the game gets locked in. Rinse and repeat. Sound good?
Yes, there we go. And just so if we have to be very careful with the voting here. Let's say, for example, your favourite game of all time is... gosh, find me something terrible.
Crazy Taxi. No, Crazy Taxi's good. bad game.
It's in my top
Bloodborne?
10.
Sonic Forces.
Okay, let's say your favourite game of all time is Sonic Forces, and someone votes it in as their number 24th, and you decide that, well, I really want to call it my number one of all time, so I'm not going to vote it right now. That's probably a good idea, because no one's going to vote for it, and then you get to nominate it for your best one of all time. If it gets chosen as number 24, you then can't choose it as number one. All right, so
Yeah.
should we do that? Should we start with myself and then go clockwise?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so now,
Number 25.
in at number 25, many of my picks are not going to get picked because many people will not have heard of them. They'll just be, they'll be like, what, that you played games back in that time? But this one, everyone's going to have heard about it, and it's Super Mario World. For me specifically, on the Game Boy, if it was on the Game Boy. Yeah.
Super Mario World on the Game Boy. Nice pick.
Yes, because
Nice pick.
and for a lot of these games, for me, it's about the memories and the memories you have with not just yourself, but with also your friends and your buddies, and bringing your Game Boys into school and getting through the game 3 times at lunchtime.
That's how you know you've mastered it.
Exactly, yes. So, because for those who don't know, Super Mario World, every time you completed the game, and there were 5 levels, once you completed all of the levels, you just started the game again immediately, and it was a bit more difficult. And you could keep on going until it was incredibly insane. So, for me, or your batteries ran out in your Game Boy. So that's my pick for number 25. It's Super Mario World.
Super Mario World on the Game Boy. That is a good pick. I've just realised that as I have the create new poll window open, I can't see the chat. That's good to know. Okay, so number 25 for Harpalat. It's the game that pipped so many others to the number 25 slot because we all had to get rid of some bangers. Outrun 2 on the Xbox 360. Ooh. I'm not talking about some old school sequel to Outrun. I'm talking about you had Outrun in 1986, and then in 2004-ish, you had Outrun 2 on the Xbox 360. I would also accept Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, because that's basically the same game, just with different rearranged levels. And I mean, what can you say about it? 60 frames a second, glorious high definition, which was new at the time. Absolutely banging modern arrangements of the legendary Outrun tunes. I could play you probably 3 tracks from that and you'd know they're Outrun tunes. New cars, like all fully licensed, like new at the time, Enzo Ferrari F50, all the classics, Testarossa, loads of Ferraris to choose from, loads of colors, loads of little mini games you can do, like, overtakes this many cars, or go this far without crashing, or drift this much. So much replay value. Just pick it up, play it, you're done. It's a great game. Number 25.
Fantastic.
Right, so is it me now?
Yes, please.
Number 25 for me. This might be a bit controversial that it's so low, but I'm going to start off a Mortal Kombat trilogy on the PlayStation 1. Because it was the first Mortal Kombat game for me that I actually felt I played it a lot, because obviously MK1 and 2 were obviously before that, but they were a bit sort of janky and slow, and MK3, and then later obviously MK Trilogy, which I played more than everyone was on about MK3. But MK Trilogy was the one that I played the most out of the original 3, so yeah, I played it with my brothers, played it a lot of the time, and it's basically a great game that was pretty much my introduction to the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Wow.
There you go.
I too have a fondness for Mortal Kombat Trilogy, because I too, like, I had Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 on the Mega... No, I didn't have 2. I had 2 on the Game Gear. I had 3 on the PlayStation. I asked for Mortal Kombat Trilogy for my birthday. I got Mortal Kombat 3. I was like, good enough, I guess. And then I read about Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, because I had a Sega Saturn magazine for some reason, because it was all new stuff. And I was looking at Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 going, look at all these awesome, cool stuffs that's not in Mortal Kombat 3.
Yeah.
And then I got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and it's like, it's awesome. So yeah, I'm with Panda. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is something other people did. For me, it's all about Trilogy.
Just Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
I'm just reading Nerd's comment. I see a bit of a problem. I've played one of those games. For me, also...
That game gets your vote, doesn't it?
Yeah, so for me, also, Outrun 2 has slightly different memories, incredibly fond memories of broken arcade cabinets with the steering wheel that was always off-center. Okay,
I did play that game a couple of times in the arcade, and it was great when I played it.
It was, yes, Outrun. For me, Outrun was an arcade game, and
I've never played Outrun.
Really,
any of them.
Really, okay.
It's really good. So Panda would probably think it's rubbish.
Okay, so should we get our voting hats on?
All right. Yes. The poll is ready to go. It is going live. You've got 1 minute to vote for your games, or vote against the games if you want them to come later on in the list. It's up to you. And the poll shall begin now.
So is that entering in the chat?
It should be at the top of the chat.
It should be at the top of the chat. So if you want to
chat, so if I
click the game that you want to vote for.
Oh, I see. Current poll.
Yes.
All right. So if I do this, here's technology for you. Look at that. And then
Look
do
at that.
Yeah, Tarkins, it should be at the top of the top of your chat box. If you've got the chat up, obviously, right at the top, it'll say new poll number 25. Just
Come on, Super Mario! Come on!
Super Mario World is a great game. I mean, I'm surprised you mentioned the Game Boy version. I have fond memories of playing that before I got my Game Gear, a friend's Game Boy, and I was like, this is awesome, with Tetris, and then Super Mario World was the next game I played, and I was like, I like this, because it's Mario with new music and everything. It's damn good. It's no Outrun 2, but, you know, it's damn good.
Mortal Kombat trilogy. It's no Mortal Kombat trilogy, apparently.
Well, you know, I guess people don't have much confidence the Mortal Kombat trilogy is going to appear higher up in the list.
There we go.
By the looks of it.
It's true.
MK Trilogy is our combined number 25.
Yes, I guess the poll's over. Oh yeah, there we go, it's over. Yes. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is number 25. It's official, it's locked in, it's sealed. The 25th greatest game of all time, according to our chat and us, is Mortal Kombat Trilogy. What's this? Takuma saying, I have no idea what Outrun is, and I hate Nintendo. Well, hating Nintendo is just kind of weird. They do some really good games. And Outrun, I mean,
that's it.
I have no surprise. I'm not surprised at all that you are not familiar with the grandfather of arcade racing games. You've heard of Doom, right? You know what that did for first-person shooter games? Outrun did that for arcade races. And
I
Outrun
would
2
agree
is,
with you. Yes,
is
I
the
would
greatest
agree with
arcade racer.
Yeah, I would agree that it was Genesis really for the real generation of arcade racers. Then you'd end up going on to Sega Rally, that was in every service station in the UK.
I used to love Sega Rally.
Used to love going on road trips and then get finished driving and then play more driving.
I think the best trigger. I think I triggered
Outrun has the not Outrun. What did you say? Sega Rally has the
Sega
greatest
Rally.
game over music of all time, and it's not even up for debate. It is the greatest. Oh, hi, Wit. It is the greatest game over jingle of all
More so
time.
than
Mr. Bolt,
Sonic?
can you bring such a thing up?
Hang on,
Way more than Sonic.
When you got
Way
that
more than Sonic. Nothing comes close,
and
Panda.
Dr. Eggman's like, Robotnik's like, get out of it.
Nah, son. You need to hear the Sega Rally game over music. Bone Jankles knows.
The thing is, it's racing games, so who cares? Well, I disagree with that one, Tarkamus, but you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
You're also
that would be
entitled
like
to
someone
wrong.
saying, I mean, it's fighting games, but who cares? It's like people,
Exactly, people like other things.
you punk.
Right, so speaking
ass.
of opinions, I think we're moving on to number 24. Harpalarp, your
Yes.
turn.
I thought, okay, I thought you were pulling up the video on YouTube for the game over music on Sega Rally, because people need to hear it. Panda's unaware, clearly.
Blitz, oh my goodness, is already timed out, Hunter.
Yeah, he's just spamming random stuff. Right, okay, so I will assume that that's
Good girl,
not
Blitz.
happening.
Good girl. Well, we love Hunter. Let's not be wrong about that one.
Yes, we do love Hunter. Are we blessing people with that short clip, or are we moving on to number 24?
I did not
Let's just move
prepare a clip of Outrun, I'm afraid. So no.
All right, yeah, I thought you were just going to type Sega Rally game over music into YouTube and then just
No.
play
What
the
I did
resulting
was
video.
I responded to the boop from Whitney, and that's always more important.
Oh, of course. So, number 24. Where's my list? I've got it here somewhere. My list. All right, number 24. Even the young children in the crowd, like Tarkamus, will have heard of this one. A little game called Rocket League on the PS4 and other platforms, I suppose. But PS4, and I'll tell you for why. I'm going to latch on to Bulk's thread that he's begun that's going to weave its way throughout this whole thing, and saying that time you spend playing games with your friends can greatly increase how much you enjoy the game. If I just played the game on my own, I probably would have thought, it's okay. But as it stands, it was a free game on PS4 like 5 years ago, and me and my mates we're still playing it. It's just so much fun going around in 2v2s or 3v3s and all the different cars, and they put loot boxes in, which was a bit of a bad look, but then they took them out, and now they kind of have loot boxes in, but they let you see what's in it before you buy it, so I'm fine with that. And yeah, just Rocket League. It's the greatest rocket-powered, acrobatic, supersonic rocket-powered car racing football game, soccer they call it, that I've ever played.
For you to say.
Sorry?
That's easy for you to say.
Yes, I believe Rocket League is actually a sequel to a game called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket-Powered Battle Cars. That's what it was. That's what it was
That's
called.
a mouthful.
Right. So then, when they made the sequel, they just went, "Fuck it, call it Rocket League." Sorry, I mean
Language.
I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. I shouldn't have said that. I apologise to everyone that might be watching. It was I wasn't myself. I was speaking for someone else, and they're bad people. They said, "You know what? I don't like that idea. We're going to call it Rocket League," and that's my number 24.
Okay, Panda.
All right, moving swiftly on. My number 24 is Jungle Strike for the Mega Drive. Bit of a classic, so Tarkamos probably hasn't heard of that either. But
so good.
I played the absolute... I'm trying to think of a word that's not a swear word now. I basically played the heck out of that game. And it is an absolute classic. Oh, have you ever played Jungle Strike? You must have played Jungle Strike.
I remember the name. I cannot. I have to
Pilot a helicopter
I've
around
never
doing
played
little
it.
missions, and you've got rockets and Hellfire missiles and a machine gun, and go around like just doing little missions, picking people up, blowing up buildings and stuff. And
It's like Skyrim with helicopters.
You fly around.
It's just a great game.
You fly around in a
you basically
helicopter.
pilot the helicopter. It's a Mega Drive game, so obviously it's like
Okay.
Yeah, it's an isometric angle.
that's the
And
one,
you
that's what I'm
can
saying.
basically
Yeah.
fly in any of the 8 directions. You can't really go up or down, but yeah, the missions usually involve blowing cars up and airlifting people to safety and stuff like that. And you have to watch out for
It's a
fuel
great
and all that.
classic game that is always fun to play.
So it was GTA on the Mega Drive.
So it was what?
GTA on the Mega Drive.
It was GTA. Everyone?
no, I'm
okay,
joking.
everyone.
It's
joking.
not a million miles away, but
Yeah. If you haven't played it, you should download an emulator and go and play it now because it's a great game. But yeah, that's
yeah,
my
you
number
should.
24.
I mean,
Jungle Strike.
I would probably personally recommend Urban Strike because it's a better version of Jungle Strike. But that's not my pick.
No,
is
it's not. Jungle Strike's the best out of the 3. It's better than Desert
Strike
Strike.
is
It's
awesome.
better than Urban Strike. But yeah,
Okay.
there we go. Jungle Strike.
Interesting. Oh my goodness! Alrighty, got another boot right in there. Number 24. So we had what did we have? We had
Rocket League.
Rocket League and Jungle Strike, and continuing the theme of 2 nouns, 1 name, if you know what I mean. Action. Guitar Hero. I loved Guitar Hero.
Which one?
I've put Guitar Hero 2, which was the one on my PS3 at the time, I believe. Yeah, so it was, I didn't buy into Rock Band or World Tour or anything like that, but Guitar Hero 2 for me. The one with Through the Fire and Flames in there.
I thought that was Guitar Hero 3, but they
it's
like
3,
to
then
have
it's
songs
3.
in various ones.
If it's 3, then it's 3.
Legends of Rock? I think.
That might,
don't
yes,
know.
I think it was Legends of Rock.
Yeah.
Yes, that sounds familiar. I remember
believe-
going around my mate's place and he was playing the same game, and I had to get it. He did. he did Metallica while I was there, and he had to go at Dragon Force, and I have to get this game. And I spent so many hours, mostly pre-karate class. So I'd have a karate class to do in the evening, and I'd bang out some Guitar Hero in the afternoon, and then go pumped to karate.
You're like, let's go!
So many classic tracks on there. Stevie Ray Vaughan is on there. You got Carlos Santana is on there, and it was just a great way to pretend that you finally were in a rock band when you never had the opportunity to, because your musical skills were pretty limited back in the day. You know, all your cool friends were in bands, and I was the guy that always went to the gigs but never got in the band.
Fair enough.
I painted the band's drum skin before, So I was their artist. It was my mate's
Yeah.
band was called Finger, and I had to paint their drum skin, which was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So Guitar Hero, whichever the one Dragon Force is in. I think that. Well, if Harp says it's 3, let's go with 3.
I've just put 2. Because I might be getting it mixed up with Surfing with the Alien. That might have been in 3, and Through the Fire and Flames might have been in 2. My first introduction to the series was World Tour, which is the 4th one. So anything before World Tour is like, no, I'm not so sure.
I see. Okay, so let's get that poll going. Rocket League,
All right.
Jungle Strike, or Guitar Hero.
The poll is active.
Right, there we go.
So let us get our votes in and.
Just our 3 votes are in there straight away.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't see anything with regards to Tarkamus having heard of Jungle Strike though. Let me scroll up. No, he didn't seem to have a comment on it, which means I was completely right and justified in my little snide dig at him.
Blitz is still confused as to who is who. So this is this is above me is Petulant Panda. You'll know him from stuff that says Petulant Panda on it. And this is Harpalarp over here. You'll know him from stuff that says Harpalarp on it. Two long-time content creators and oh my god, Rocket League. Okay, so we're going to lose Harps from this right now.
I was just loving Tark's comment. He goes, Panda is on top of Bulk and Harps is pushed to the side for playing sub. I can't argue with him. When the guy's right, he's right. But yeah, Rocket League has taken the slot of number 24.
That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that.
The chat has spoken.
Oh, I need to crop, don't I? There we go. Crop. There we go. There we go. The only crop I like is the top. Right, just
Yes.
one tie between 3 people. There we go. All right, so Rocket League with 57% of your wonderful votes. Prime, you didn't vote, did you? Yeah, numbnuts.
Oh, Prime's here. How goes it, son?
Yeah. Welcome back,
Just
Hunter.
one tie between 3 people. I can't believe no one voted for Jungle Strike. What's wrong with you lot?
Well,
You're too young.
hang on a
You're
minute.
too young,
to
son.
appreciate a classic.
Hang on, I can vote, can't I?
Yeah,
Yes.
did you not vote?
You're not
I haven't-
voting.
Of course I haven't voted.
You gotta,
Well, we've
gotta
been ringing the
vote,
votes.
son.
The only vote Jungle Strike got was from me.
Oops.
oh man, somebody already voted for Rocket League before I could get in there, so kind of. I don't think Bulk's vote was going to sway it anymore.
I am such bulk.
Are we
Yeah.
moving on to 23?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that means it's your turn, Panda.
In at number 23 for me is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Oh,
'Cause
strong.
I didn't quite let the nostalgia goggles get it that high up the list, Harps, but it was a great game. I spent a lot of time playing with my mates in that. It's like you were saying about the whole time spent playing with your friends. Like we had a whole football club's worth of people playing in one lobby on Modern Warfare 2 once, and it was absolutely amazing. So yeah, just that was fun times basically spent playing that game with mates. So yeah, that's my number 23 because it's a great game.
That was my introduction to the series, and yeah, I'd be lying if I said that we didn't have an absolute blast with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no pun
so-
intended.
I just disagree with everyone who's like, remake it, it's the greatest game of all time, and it's like, nah, you're forgetting all the bad things about it, mate.
Exactly. It's good, but it's not perfect. And yeah,
It was amazing at the time,
I've never played
but if
the
they,
COD. I've never
that does
played
not
the
surprise me in the slightest, Bulk.
COD. Yeah, there you go.
You're such a non-combative kind of fella.
Red Blitz is trying to influence the decisions here. She wants Red Dead Redemption definitely number 1. Right. Oh my goodness, I know that person right there. Welcome to the chat, London77. Right.
London 77.
There you go. Now here we go, 23, and I do have a clip to share. And my number 23 is Gynoog on the Mega Drive.
I heard of that, but never played it.
It's an absolute classic. It's a Bulletstorm game. It's a sideways scrolling Bulletstorm game where you play an angel, a homoerotic angel fighting the denizens of hell on your Mega Drive with your 3 buttons of power. And the things that struck you about this game were, one, the visuals were not bad, and when it came to the bosses were really well done. lots of gore and hearts flying out. It's a steampunk kind of almost sensual hell beast mix-up. But the most important thing about the game was the music. Oh my god, the music in Gainug absolutely ripped it to bits. Now I'm going to see if I can pull this up right here and then hit play. So let me do that, and then do that, and then do that, and I'm going to give you a bit of what I'm talking about.
Very loud.
And we'll pause that right there. There we go. So that was level 1. So that's how it started off, and where you saw all of those things coming at you. That was all in level 1, and then you knew you were in for one hell of a ride with your wings. Yes.
I think tonight might be the first time I've ever heard anyone say the name of that game out loud. I've only ever seen it in print up until this point. Gainug.
That's right. Gynoug. Gainug.
Prime's like, that's better than Modern Warfare 2? BS. You have to understand that Bog didn't play games for about 40 years.
In my opinion, way better than...
yes.
In my opinion, way better than Modern Warfare 2. But I've got stiff competition. One of my favourite games of all time.
You're entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled to be wrong.
and Prime is invited to put his vote where his mouth is, unless people think Modern Warfare 2 is going to end up higher in the list. But we shall see. So, were you finished speaking about Gainug?
I could go on. I could show you all the bosses, because all the bosses were sick. but remember, this was in 1991. I think it came out in 91 or something like that. So I was not a very old person, but everyone was in love with the game at the time. And I think there were other shooty games on the Mega Drive which were more popular, like objectively maybe better. I think Hellfire was one of those. But Gainug had the best music, and that's what you go for.
I was never really into shmups, as they call them, when I was a kid. Still not really into them, but I did play one on the Mega Drive called Biohazard Battle, I think. And that game was awesome. It's not top 25 awesome, but it was awesome.
This wasn't born.
Liz wasn't even born. Whitney was 5. 4.
Does that make you feel old, Bulk?
Well, yeah, I was, when it came out, I was probably 11 or 12. Yeah.
Indeed. Right, well, I don't know how many people are going to have played this one, but you will have heard of it. Maybe. Project Gotham Racing 4.
Oh, I love that game.
Is my number 23 spot. That's right.
Vote against
3
myself.
racing games in a row from your boy Harpalap. 3 racing games. The guy who never plays racing games. 3. Right. Because Project Gotham Racing 4, I don't want to... Right, so Project Gotham Racing, awesome, kind of like Gran Turismo, but without the tedium of having to, like, buy cars and mod them up. You can just get them and unlock them and drive them and stuff. PGR 4 was so good. It was the first game I played when I bought my 360, so it was the first game I played in high definition. And I remember being wowed at just going into first-person view in the cockpit and just looking and seeing the stitching in the leather of the cars. And I was like, this is definition hitherto untold before this game. And they'd reward you with kudos points for driving dangerously, like slipstreaming and doing drifts and whatnot. So they encourage you to do drifts. It wasn't as arcadey as like Outrun 2, but it was nowhere near as realistic as Gran Turismo. It was somewhere in the middle, so you could still chuck a car into a corner and have some fun, like Outrun, but it wasn't just pure arcade action. And I played that game so much that I got up to 17th in the world on the leaderboards on that game. It was literally every day, come home from work, bang, 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 spend hours playing that game, racing against some
Nerd.
people. I got recruited into a clan called UBR because after I beat some guy, I got a message from him saying, "Hey, you're pretty good. Do you want to like see if you could be in our crew?" And I was like, "I don't know what that entails. How do we do this?" And he goes, "Well, let me set up a meet with the boss, and then me, you, and the boss will have a little race. See?" He didn't speak like that. I just assumed that's how he sounded. And then we had a race, me, him, and the boss, and I destroyed them because they frankly weren't very good. And they were like, "You're in." And then we never did anything together as a clan.
Wow, could you imagine that?
That was my first experience with clanship. I got to 17th in the world. The graphics were amazing at the time. The music was okay. Just great fun. And yeah, you don't play a game and get 17th in the world and then not look back on it and go, "Damn, that was good." So my number 23, Project Gotham Racing 4.
Okay, let me get this straight there. You got to 17th in the world at this racing game.
Yes.
And the result of that was that you got signed up to a clan that didn't do anything.
No. This all happened long before I got to 17th.
Oh, okay.
Because I wasn't like involved in the community or anything. I was just playing the game. I would just go home, go rank to play the game. Go home, go rank to play the game. And yeah, and then like I'd see some people with this UBR in front of their name, but I didn't really think anything of it. And then yeah, I won this one race, and this guy was like, "Hey, you look pretty good." And I was like, "Well, when you play a game every day." So yeah, I enjoyed that game quite a lot.
Okay.
Right, so what are the three? Bulk's weird old one.
Gynoog, absolute classic.
Modern Warfare 2 and Project Gotham Racing 4.
Yes, specifically number 4. Right, the chat is the poll is about to go live. Everybody, hold on to your butts.
And that's what we
It's
like
live.
is live poll action.
Don't forget you can vote Bulk. So
Right, I'm doing that
let me
right
know.
now.
I like the way you put question marks next to Bulk's one.
Modern
Yeah,
Warfare
Gynoog? Like, what is this?
vote. Got 2 votes. Let's go. Let's go.
Pity
That
votes.
was a pity.
No, really, it's getting more votes than PGR4. Really, no one's voting for a really good racing game.
Oh, here we
over
go.
Arguably the greatest shooter of all time.
I played this game every day of my life. It became my life. I got to 17th in the world and got signed up to one of the most prestigious clans out there. No votes.
I know. Was my entertainment worth nothing for you guys?
I
Yeah,
mean, you've got one extra vote besides your own half. So just,
that's a
you're
pity
tied.
vote right there,
I
mate.
mean, you're both getting demolished. Between you, you've got half of what Modern Warfare 2's got, but then it's Modern Warfare 2, so
Exactly, yeah. I don't think these games were ever going to beat that.
that's some stiff competition there.
Yeah, that's some. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Damn.
If these people had played PGR4, they might have had a different opinion, but there we go.
2 of mine have won so far, and one of yours, Harps.
Oh, I
Oh,
wasn't keeping
MK
count.
Trilogy won the first
Well,
one,
I
didn't
am,
it?
because Bulk hasn't won any yet.
Yes, that's
And
true.
he never will.
That's true.
It's not a
And
contest between us, okay?
No, I know.
GR4. Okay, I'm just writing down. I'm writing down the master lists on top of my list so that we can compile the complete list. Yeah.
I am. I'm doing it. I've got a file open
Yeah.
that says games locked in.
And look, you've got a file open. Bulk's got pen and paper.
It works.
Sounds about right. Yeah, but
I mean,
his
yeah,
high-tech
it
paper
works.
is super good.
Yeah.
Bulk,
Yeah, but
you
hey,
gonna go
Bulk, watch
first
this.
for number 22?
Hey, Bulk, watch this. Control S. There we go. I never have to worry about losing this thing. Because I just saved it.
I can put it in a ring binder and put it on the shelf.
One step ahead of me as always. So what game won that? Modern Overrated 2.
COD
yeah?
MW2. That is right. COD MW2.
Modern Warfare 2.
Right, let me just.
All great games. All great games, quite frankly.
Right, I believe
I mean,
go.
Bulk's one, maybe.
I never played Bulk's one, so you know.
No, neither
let's
did
just-
I. I never even heard of it. Just gloss over that and move on.
Oh my OMW2ness. Right.
This is not an attack on your personal beliefs and ideals.
This is
I'm
not
just
an attack
disagreeing
on old
with-
people.
I'm just disagreeing with everything you believe.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Now
So it's Bulk's turn,
it's
I believe,
my
to go
turn,
first.
number 22, and I'm gonna go for something which is super old, but I shouldn't need to pull up a YouTube on this one. And it was for all formats, but the format I played it on was the ZX Spectrum 48K.
It's a new one.
Jesus.
Oh, Bulk's like, I used pencil and paper because I invented it.
All right, this game is Gauntlet on the ZX Spectrum, but it was on Amiga, it was on Commodore 64. What is Gauntlet? Oh my goodness!
I've heard of it.
Gauntlet. It was a dwarf, a barbarian warrior, a Amazonian, and a mage, like a wizard. And
it was a rip-off of Golden Axe.
Yeah, so
Golden
four
Axe
characters,
a rip-off of that?
and it was looked from above, and you four characters would be crowded around the same keyboard, moving around locations, just shooting everything in your path. So it didn't matter that you were a wizard or a barbarian woman or whatever, because you just threw whatever it is that you had. So the dwarf threw axes, the wizard threw magic, but it was just like projectiles. And you would have to take out rooms of zombies and skeletons and werewolves and things like that. So you'd run around these catacombs and castles and dungeons and so on, slaying everything in your path. Everything was super difficult, especially because 4 people crowded around one keyboard. And for those of you who aren't familiar with old computers, the keyboards weren't big. So you would need your 4 direction buttons and an action button and an item button, I believe. It was lots of good times between myself and my 2 brothers, and I always tended to pick the dwarf because he had axes.
If you like that game, Bulk, you might like a little game.
It's B-Tech D&D. Yes, it is. Will Trap. It's B-Tech D&D. Yes.
It's from a smaller franchise. It's called Skyrim.
I knew you were going to say that.
It sounds like you just described really bad Skyrim.
Wasn't that just Elder Scrolls 1?
Oh, yeah, true. No, but I'm sure even that's better than Gauntlet. I mean, a worthy pick, Bulk.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, if you loved it, that is literally all that matters with this list, is how much you loved it. And I look forward to a good ribbing later on for my picks, but unfortunately my list is flawless, so I'm not expecting any.
Just you wait till you get to my top 20. Yeah.
Excellent. So that's Gauntlet. I should write that down. Gauntlet. There we go. So is it my turn? It is my turn. Everyone, please, congratulate me on winning this upcoming poll when I announced that Resident Evil 4 is my number 22 best game of all time. Does it really need any interpretation? Bulk wants to talk about being ported to every system. You want to talk about Resident Evil 4, mate? It's probably, now that Final Fantasy VII is out of the way and Resident Evil 2 and 3 are out of the way, Resident Evil 4 might be the remake everyone wants right now.
Dino Crisis.
No, they only want to remake good games, though. Only good games.
Hey.
So, with Resident Evil 4, obviously, one thing that I can't say anything because it might give away something else. But what makes Resident Evil 4, what made it so amazing at the time for me was how new and fresh it felt, because it was Resident Evil 2 and 3. It's not that they felt old and stale, but they had a very similar gameplay style to the first game. 4 shook it up by making it over-the-shoulder camera, third person, no more fixed backgrounds. You still get kind of weird, janky controls, but they didn't feel weird and janky because they were such a step up from Resident Evil 3. I've been back and I've played Resident Evil 4 lately. It feels old and jank. It doesn't look as old as it feels.
I agree with you on that.
Jank, yeah. So if there's people that are saying Resident Evil 4 isn't old enough to be remade. Yeah, it is. They could make it now and improve it greatly, just greatly. Like I saw Maximilian do a video where he was talking about this recently, and he said, like, imagine when you get to the village in Resident Evil 4 at the beginning, but instead of there being like, I don't know, 10 or 15 Gyarados coming after you, there's like 50 or 100, and you've just got to deal with them. Like, we couldn't do that technically back then, but I bet they wanted to. Now we can do it. So Resident Evil 4, it basically speaks for itself, is my number 22 slot.
Wonderful.
Is my pick for the number 22 slot.
Mrs. Bulk has come down and seen the amount of lights I've got rigged up here. Wondering when the plane is going to come through the front room.
Yeah. You should have said, don't look at me, you bought one of them.
And you bought half.
Did you hear her off screen
she
just
say?
there? She went, "Oh, shots absolutely fired. Shots fired right now."
So anyway, I'll try and climb out of this
My 22?
hot water right now and pass it on to Pan Dude.
I've lost audio from the. What's going on?
It's broken it.
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you anymore. I've lost audio.
I can hear you.
I can hear you just fine.
Have you muted us?
Oh, there you go. Back.
There we go. He's fixed it.
I don't know what happened.
Sorry,
there.
he just had a bulk moment.
Right, is it me then? 22,
It
yeah?
is 22.
Yes.
My number 22 is Metal Gear Solid 4. Because that game is just absolutely chock-a-block full of fan service. So anyone that likes the Metal Gear franchise, and it's got one of the best boss battles, one of the most nostalgic boss battles at the end. And I don't know what people's general perception of that game is, but I absolutely loved it.
I can tell you.
So,
I could just hop in quick because I've heard many people talk about Metal Gear Solid, and a lot of people consider 4 to be like the weaker entry in the series. I don't. I like it for the exact reasons you like it. It's basically one giant love letter to the fans from Kojima, because he was certain this time it was going to be the last one. He thought 3 was going to be the last one, but they said make another one, and then he made 4, and it was meant to be the last one. It wraps everything up in a neat little package, and yeah, the nostalgia. Oh, the nostalgia. Yeah. My favorite fourth wall break moment in any game is in Metal Gear Solid 4, and you'll only get it if you played Metal Gear Solid 1. So I mean, damn, Panda, that's a pick right there.
You're not going to get Blitz's vote. She's never played it. Will Trap is Metal Gear Meathead. Not sure what that reference is. But
oh, yes.
That's a video series on YouTube that you should check out, Bulk.
Oh, do I have to?
Yeah. Yeah, Panda. It's Panda made it. It's good.
Yeah, I made it. It's Jackson Mortal Kombat, basically.
Oh, gotcha. I played the first Metal Gear Solid. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4 is a great game.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Number 22.
Sorry, I'm not used to anyone saying I played Metal Gear Solid 1 without it being succeeded by the words, and it is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone go, I played Metal Gear Solid 1. It's I.
Right.
I love it. So, I suppose I should set up a poll.
I remember, you know when you write your lists and then you think of something else?
Oh yeah,
no, my list is flawless.
Me and Harps have done our list like a week or so ago, but that's why, because we knew that was going to happen and we had to make some cuts.
Yeah. I remembered one.
I managed to knock my list out from start to finish in about an hour. I was just like, I'm doing this. Boom! And I did it. It wasn't easy, but...
Just been lurking until now. I'll have a top 5 I'll share with you guys when your lists are done. Boom! Check you out.
Who's that?
End of the Irish guy.
Ender.
Team Considerable, the Irish guy right there in the chat.
Yes. Yeah. So, yes, Gauntlet, Resident Evil 4, and Metal Gear Solid 4. The vote shall begin.
It has commenced.
Damn, why did I have to put such a good thing? I kind of want to vote for Pandas.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not right. Hang on. Crop. Can Bulk do this before the poll ends?
You got to try and crop the top bit. There we go. Yeah, keep going up.
You might want to vote for your own game because it's sitting on 0. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
That's right. I think people know what I'm doing with the window. See, the game
Ender says if Resi 4 doesn't win, rigged. Well, you can't say that because it's up against Metal Gear Solid 4.
The game that occurred to me a couple of days ago when I wrote my list out was GoldenEye N64, and that would have replaced Gauntlet.
Oh, that was a
GoldenEye
great
N64.
How could
One
you
of the,
not drop that in there?
Because I didn't have an N64. I only played it at house parties, mostly very drunk.
I didn't have one either. I only played it when my brother's friend from up north somewhere come down and brought his N64 down.
Yeah,
and I didn't have one either. I only played it when I went up to Tame to live with my friend for a week every summer, and he had it. And we would play GoldenEye. And
I'm guessing no one's got GoldenEye on their lists because we've just gone and talked about it.
Well, I may not. I may not. You never know.
It was the man who came in and played with Oddjob and just destroyed everybody.
No.
Oddjob was broken in that game.
Yeah, you just ban people who play as Oddjob. Get out of here. Get to the toilet, jump up in the air conditioning unit, and stay there.
Okay, so Resi 4 for number 22. Good job there.
Resident Evil 4 is indeed the winner of the number 22 slot because it's one of the greatest games of all time.
There you go.
I don't like Resi 4.
And we got an incredibly strong Resident Evil game, but some people may have thought it was a weak entry. Metal Gear Solid 4, some people thought that was a weak entry. Speaking of weak entries, Harps, number 21, please.
Ah, yes. Number 21. Now this is my turn to feel like Bulk. Okay. So when I was a lad, I played on the Mega Drive, and there was a game called Kid Chameleon, all right?
Yes.
That's number 21. I've streamed it. Not many people came to watch it, but it was so good. I bought the Sega Mega Drive collection on the PS4 just so I could stream it.
Have Kid Chameleon.
Because it's part of that collection. Kid Chameleon, so good. It's like Mario, but better in every way. I mean, you could collect all these different power-ups. Like, you know how Mario has his metal cap that turns him into metal, and he's got the hat cap that turns him into a cat or whatever. Well, this guy had like 30 different helmets, and each one came with their own individual powers. You could fly, you could turn into a tank and shoot skulls. You could be a holographic dude with cyber vision goggles, 90s versions of cyber vision goggles.
Heracles
You could
in the
reveal
chat.
hidden blocks and stuff. And the story was ahead of its time. It was about a guy who... There was an arcade machine that was a little bit too real, and it was eating the kids. But the one kid is too tough to beat, they said. And he, of course, it's the 90s, so spiked up hair, black shades, and black leather jacket. That's how you know he's a cool kid. And then he jumps into action. Kid Chameleon. That is my number 21 slot. One of my favorite games of all time.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, and there's like 1,000 levels as well. It goes on for a while.
Heracles, are you able to join the Zoom chat right now then? I sold the whole team for a mere Tinder date. One of hundreds this year, he says. That's how you know that. Oh, you permitted it, okay. When the mods get in so quick and I can't read what was unpermitted.
Yeah.
I just permit
Heracles says he can in 10.
Can in 10, okay.
Alright, so I'll get to my number 21 then.
Heracles Man Sweet in 10.
Heracles should have said to his date, can I move it tomorrow? I'm listing my top 10 favorite games of all time this evening.
Alright,
I'm sure that would have gone down well.
Panda. Let's go.
Alright, my entry for number 21 is Pokemon Red/Blue.
Pokemon
Because-
Red or Blue?
Does it need any sort of introduction? It is the OG Pokemon game that kicked it all off. So many hours wasted. Not even wasted. What am I saying?
Well
wasted?
spent.
Relished. Well spent. There you go. Yeah. On the Game Boy, played it pretty much non-stop, and it kicked off my love for Pokemon. So yeah, 21. Pokemon Red/Blue.
Fan.
Red/Blue, very good. It was also, I'm getting used to saying this, that was my entry to the series as well.
Speaking of entry, Heracles has finished with his Tinder. Now, my 21, and I wonder if this makes an appearance on your lists, fellas. 21 favoritist game of all time. Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo.
A strong pick, man. Finally, Bulk has a strong pick.
Super Mario Kart. My God, did we play the heck out of that at school? And I wasn't the best at it. I was better at the fighting games. But there were kids in my school that were doing all of the tracks basically blindfolded. They always picked Bowser. They always picked Donkey Kong. They knew the optimal routes through every single course.
All the shortcuts.
The music, the visuals, the primary color palette, the speed of the ting, hitting your friends with turtle shells. Yes, it was Super Mario Kart, Super Nintendo, my 21st favoritist, most influential game of all time. And here's a question for the chat. I think I mentioned this. I think I tried to allude to it in a different chat. Chat, what is Mario and Luigi's second name?
Oh, everyone knows that.
Well, you say that, but not a lot of people do.
Are we assuming that the film is canon?
Yes, the film is canon. It was stated. Yes, Spectacular Spider Nerd, yes, has got the right answer. It is Mario,
Just let you guys know, I can't hear anything you're saying. I'm having technical issues.
It's
I'm just having
Mario
big
and
issues.
Luigi Mario. There we go. So
Yes.
yes, the Mario brothers.
My
That's
Zoom's
their actual
saying that I've
second
been
name.
muted.
Well, I've been able to hear you, so...
Right.
And I can still hear you, so I'm not sure.
Well, I've got my mic on, so I can. I'm worried
Yes.
Bulk is going to propose Smash for number 1. Why are you worried? It's the
Oh, you
best-
guys should.
It's like the best fighting.
Sorry. No, it's. I'll have you know, it's not a fighting game. I used to be in that camp, right? Yeah. As you know, I used to be in the camp of Smash is a fighting game. It's just not a tournament fighter. It's not specifically a 2v2, 1v1 type thing with health bars. But it is still a fighting game. Until I googled it. I spent about 10 seconds googling it, and they said Masahiro Sakurai, the creator of and director of every Smash game ever made, has said repeatedly over the years it is not a fighting game. So I think that kind of settles it.
Okay, so Super Mario Kart Super Nintendo is my pick for 21. Let's have you
Excellent.
polled.
Yes, the poll is now live. So yes, Mario Kart. I never grew up with a Nintendo console, so I'd always heard of Mario Kart, never played them. The first one I played was Mario Kart 64. Didn't care for it, I must say. And we'll leave it at that.
Oh,
I wonder what it's going to be between the two Nintendo properties. I think.
it's between Panda and Bulk at the moment. Kid Chameleon, not the strongest of picks.
No,
Come on, Mario Kart! You all remember what it was. You all remember getting Superstar at the beginning, the hopping slide.
yeah, but everyone's
people. Like.
everyone. You know the blue shell, mate. The blue shell. When that's coming your way, downvote this game. Downvote it.
Boop, 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 boop.
You've got to press go just after the 2 beep.
Yes, that was right. That was the tech. It was just after the second beep. There we go. Come on,
Unlike
Mario.
the-
Oh no! Also,
look at this.
just in at the end. No.
Oh, Pokemon Red/Blue
Here we go.
on the
That's
Game
like
Boy.
3 wins for your boy.
No.
Yeah, Panda, you keep track of who has won each one. That's going to be good.
Right, wait, hang on. Iroquois has played neither of them, but he voted for Pokemon. You traitor. You
He can
absolute
vote for whatever
traitor.
he can vote for whatever he
What a
likes.
lad.
Pokemon Red, Blue. I'll tell you what. Speaking of getting turbo starts in games, one of the craziest ones is in GTA 5 or GTA Online, because you have to press the accelerator after it says go. That's how you get the turbo start. Basically, you have to imagine that there's a -1 after the go, so it goes 3, 2, 1, go, and then on the -1 is when you actually press it, and that's how you get the boost.
Okay.
It's weird.
Right,
Spitting all over my
can't believe
gosh dang on screen over here.
I got beat by ruddy Pokemon. Okay.
Pokemon's quality, mate.
Yeah, Pokemon's godlike.
Don't disparage it. How dare you? We'd never talk rubbish about your games.
Only because we've never heard of them.
I've heard of Gynoog.
To be fair, TBF, I knew this was going to happen because for the majority of my lower order, people will not have heard of the games that were really important to me because
Yes.
they were of a different generation, sometimes in colour.
Sometimes they were even
Sometimes in colour. Okay.
Oh,
right.
man.
Whose turn is it now? Is it?
Let me see who went first last
Look,
time.
I'm a Bulbasaur guy as well. I got a little Bulbasaur right there.
I went first last time, so it's
People
got
in
to
the
be
chat,
Panda's
Bulbasaur
turn.
guys.
See, it was subliminal. It was subliminally simping. He had those
They're all
plushies
over
in the
there.
background right there. If I had,
Simpling and them all.
if I had a
Panda's only saying
go kart in the
Bulbasaur's
background
underrated.
here, then that would have been subliminal also. Yeesh. All right.
Right, is it me for number 20?
I think so. Yeah. So me.
Right, this is the only game that I've played from this franchise. It's Fallout 4.
Fallout
Like I said,
4.
only game I played from that franchise, but I love Skyrim. So when I saw that was out, I thought, I'm going to give it a go because it's basically Skyrim in the future with guns, which sums it up
Pretty
quite
much.
well. And I played through it quite a few different times, couple of different archetypes for the character in that, and just
That's right. We're
great-
saying
great time
archetypes
playing,
now.
Yes.
Archetypes. Archetypes. Like your arch nemesis. This is the
Not
archetype.
archetypes.
What's the word I'm
My
looking for?
archenemesis.
Archetype. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not
Alright,
archetype.
whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, have you seen my Archangel? No, that's an X-Man. Wait, now I'm confused.
Well,
To be fair, you don't take your you
builds,
don't
different
take your
character
car.
builds, and there we go. We'll call it a character build. Get off my back about it.
Right,
Number
so
20, Fallout 4.
Okay.
Nice, okay.
Fallout 4. Number 20, and probably 10% of you will have played this game. Every one of you will have heard about it. It's Asteroids. The one where you...
Oh, so old.
It is very old. And
I had those once. It was painful.
I played that on the
Painful to sit down.
the Atari home entertainment system, because they didn't understand what the word console was back then. You had the joystick with one button. It was a joystick.
Sometimes I forget how old you really are, and it hurts.
Asteroids pipped my. Let me see. I had one other pick from the Atari generation, and that was. Let me just check that I haven't put it further up. Yeah, it was Missile Command. But for those who don't know Missile Command, it was the game in Terminator 2 that John Connor was playing when he was found in the arcade.
Right now, the chat's like, Terminator 2, that's like a baby's film.
Yes, but it was Afterburner.
No, he was playing Afterburner afterwards, but he was playing Missile Command prior to that on the trackball.
You get it right, Panda.
Yeah, on the trackball. All right, but Asteroids was the same generation, and you played this triangle. There is no other way to describe it. You played a triangle, and you floated around in space. And this space was so special. It was its own portal. If you flew off the edge of the screen, you would reappear on the opposite side over here.
We call that Pac-Man rules these days.
Exactly. Or if you went up, you would appear from the bottom. All right, and appearing from the bottom is something that Iraklis has just done, and he will be back in the chat very soon. And you have to shoot loads and loads of asteroids, hence the name, and the odd spaceship, and it was a lot of fun. There were special moves you could do in there, like invincibility was a good one. A random teleport was one of the special moves that you had access to.
Oh, what's the name of? Oh, quick! I need to say this before I forget. What's the name of that thing in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that's basically a random teleport? What is it? It's the infinite probability drive.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, you just press the button. We don't know what's going to happen.
You basically had that, and I think you accessed it by pressing down on the joystick. So pressing up was forward, left and right rotated you, and you had your special move by pulling down. And if you selected random teleport, then you could sometimes teleport inside an asteroid and die. It was brilliant.
One thing that game is almost as legendary as like Space Invaders and Pac-Man. It's of that ilk. And one thing you can't take away from it, yeah, sure, graphics are a bit basic, but you have to consider the age of it. One thing that was impressive for its day was physics. It seemed to have physics. It had acceleration and deceleration.
Yes, this is
and
true.
That's not something you really saw back then. So you kids, you've got to put respect where respect is due.
And that was a gameplay problem, because the intuitive thing to do is to, when you're going too fast and you're zipping across the screen like this, is to pull back. And if you got random teleport as your special move, all that happened is you slightly rotated because you never got true down, and you ended up teleporting inside another asteroid.
and now you're just going up.
You had to flip your triangle around 180 degrees and mash forward as fast as you could to slow your craft down before you hit.
So what you're saying? It was the video game adaptation of the film Gravity. Gotcha.
Yes.
Did you see the film
I've
Gravity?
not seen Gravity.
No,
it's pretty good. It's pretty good, I will say. Saw it in the cinema. In fact, that's the only film I think I've ever seen in IMAX, because I heard that it was going to be like a big visual feast. And I saw it, and I came away from it going, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But then upon further reflection, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Wiggity wawa. So Asteroids, number 2020.
Number 2020. God, I thought we put that number behind us. Right. Okay, number 20. Oh, mate, wait, what did you guys pick again?
We had Fallout 4 and Asteroids.
Fallout 4 and Asteroids. Oof. Well. Oof. Okay, well, I mean, here we go. So, number 20, my 20th. I erroneously said in a recent stream that this was the best game in its franchise. Of course, that was totally wrong, because number 20 is Sonic Generations, which is amazing. It's not a perfect game, because very few are, but there's at least one perfect, actually perfect game on my list. But Sonic Generations, if you take just the modern Sonic levels, where you're playing as modern Sonic, running at modern Sonic speeds with modern Sonic gameplay, where you just, stood there going, you dooby-doo, and then you press square, boom, instantly the speed of sound. You're using your ring power to boost and do loops, and if you learn all the levels, it's basically like a race. You learn the levels, and then it's all about finding the fastest routes and the fastest shortcuts and the best combination of powers you can give to Sonic to get through the levels as fast as you can. And when you go through those levels, perfectly smooth. You don't hit an enemy, you don't run into a wall and stop, you don't lose your momentum, you're just like boom, 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 through the levels. Oh, that is peak Sonic gameplay, peak! And people tend to dismiss the 3D Sonic games. I don't know why. Maybe they just don't like the peak Sonic and it scares them. But yeah, Sonic Generations... it was so good that I spent 6 years looking forward to a sequel, and then that sequel was Sonic Forces.
Oof. And that was not on your list, I'm guessing.
Sonic Forces was like a really bad version of Sonic Generations. Literally, the only improvements they made, and this is not even a joke, the only improvements they made over the game that came out 6 years before it were now it runs at 60 frames a second, and now it can be played in 1080p. Because Sonic Generations on PS3, it only went up to 720p. It didn't go up to 1080, and a lot of the time the frame rate was like, man, I wish this ran at 30, because it just wasn't that great. So when Sonic Forces came out and it ran at 60, I was like, yes, one improvement.
Was that?
And that was it. Everything else
was Sonic Forces like that tweet that came out about Conic 2, the movie, that I saw on Panda's Twitter line. So I think it was the production. Was it the marketing company for the Sonic 2, Sonic the Hedgehog
movie.
2?
They spelt their film with a C.
Yeah, they spelled Sonic Conic, Conic 2, the movie.
Oh, it must have been made by CD Projekt Red then.
Yeah. Conic the Hedgehog 2.
Again.
They just didn't finish it.
Exactly, and then Epic chimed in and said, "Yeah, don't forget Flails or Fails, the his foxy sidekick."
Yeah,
and
Fails.
I said, "Don't forget Buckles. He was instrumental."
Buckles is the top tier Sonic character, Conic character. Sorry.
Yeah, he's definitely
and
the
don't forget his
number
best
one
friend, Lado. He's from up north.
Right, so
hang on, what does Spectacular Spider say? He says, fun fact, Sonic Generations remixes go great with Spider-Man PS4. You know why? Because Sonic Generations remixes are some of the greatest Sonic music of all time, and that is a big pool of good music to choose from.
I have a feeling that Spectacular Spider Nerd is going to be mentioning and referencing Spider-Man PS4 quite a few times. He's going to just.
I think he likes it.
I think he has an attachment to it. Speaking of attachment, number 20. Poll. Let's see how you all attach to your votes. By the way,
working on it.
I made a mistake. Okay, Blitz in the chat says I made a mistake. I bought Cyberpunk the day it came out.
I did the same thing. I hype bought it, played it like twice, and then didn't play it again.
You basically made a character with a massive chap, and then you just didn't play it again. There we go.
The poll is live, by the way.
The poll is live. Asteroids, for some reason, is in the lead currently.
Somehow. Look at this.
Come on,
because
Asteroids!
They don't want the other games to come top.
How is no one voting for Fallout 4? I can't.
Come on, Asteroids!
Yeah, why can't you vote?
Because my phone won't let me for some reason. I had to close my browser because it was making the sound cut out on.
We are 50-50. Again, it's Asteroids versus Sonic. Come on, Sonic. Oh no, that late vote. Come on, Asteroids. Come on, Asteroids. You can. Bulk is gonna get. No, he's not. He's not gonna.
You might. People are pity voting for you. Or maybe they just think one of us has Asteroids higher up.
Oh man, Hunter, vote for me. I'll take my trousers off.
You can't
Didn't work.
I'm pretty sure that might be against Twitch's rules.
It's only a 3-day ban. I can take that.
He's done it before.
Yeah.
Oh man, Sonic Generations wins the number 20th slot.
Right, one of these days I'm gonna land a hottie and actually get mine selected. I thought we were in there. It was so.
Don't ever say that sentence in front of Mrs. Bulk. One of these days I'm going to land me a hottie.
Just see a chair come flying over and smash him in the head.
I can hear the divorce papers being filed from here.
So what was that? Sonic Generations.
Generations.
Generations. Iraklis, how far are we away from introducing you to the chat? Where is he? Oh, that's now. Alright, so we're going to take a quick break in the interests of introducing the man, the myth, the Tinder legend himself, Iraklis. And we're going to be right back. I'm going to mute my mic before we start. And we should be back. I'm going to very quickly just switch. I should have done this before. Switch the music up. There we go. And get out of that mode so I can actually see something. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're now down to number 19. And who went last? It was Panda. So the order we're going in, Heracles, is it started off from me and we're going clockwise. And for those who don't know, welcome one and all to the man, the myth, the actual legend. It is TC Heracles. Say howdy.
Howdy.
There we go. There he is. His dulcet tones. And he is a man of mystery, as you can tell. Mysterious. You see those diplomas on the wall? They are in swiping. Every single one of them.
Tinder diplomas.
You know how YouTube give you like a silver plaque when you get like 100,000 subs? Well, there you go. Eat
they
your
call them
heart
tin
out.
diplomas.
Tin.
You can have that one for free.
Yes.
Right, who's first?
me
Number
again.
19.
Panda went first last time,
So
so
it's
this
me
is
now.
Bulk
So-
for number 19.
I want to take you back to a time when things were more simple and people just were happy to go to their outside toilets and die of consumption. Okay? Yes, this is back in the day. My number 19 is Revenge of Shinobi on the Mega Drive. Now,
That's a
tell
nice
me
pick.
that's not a solid choice. Revenge of the Shinobi.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
The original Shinobi had the black ninja. Revenge of Shinobi was white ninja with red trim, and
That's the one I played.
yes,
Yeah.
he kicked bottom. Oh my god, did he kick bottom? Throwing shuriken like it was Heracles swiping his phone. He didn't care. He just went for it. He had the choice of 4 different supers, one of which killed him, but he didn't mind. He got better. There was one of the factory stages where you stocked up on extra lives. So that's how you actually managed to do that. But yes, Revenge of Shinobi. The music was incredible. There's a big theme here. I like music in my games. I really do like music in my games.
That's why he doesn't play MK11 anymore.
It's the only reason I don't play MK11 right now. It's
Because of that
literally
rubbish.
the only reason. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's only the music.
It's good if you put all the other audio settings on 20 and leave the music on 100 and then turn your volume up to 11.
After Bulkathon last week, I turned my background music on MK11 off, and I was in the chat party with Heracles, and the game went into a demo, and I said to Heracles, I've turned my background music off, and I actually can't tell that it's gone.
I can tell.
what I'm saying
it's
is
better than
only
nothing,
because
but
it's
it's
too
not
quiet.
good.
It's just because it's too quiet, trust me. Turn it right up to 100, turn everything else right down.
I've heard
and
the
turn
music
your-
on its own, though.
Yeah.
It's just bland.
I'm fighting a
bland
losing
forgiven.
battle here, aren't I?
Yes.
It doesn't go anywhere. It's like
Smash is a fighting game.
it doesn't go anywhere. That's the problem. Something that does go somewhere is the music and the action on Revenge of Shinobi on the Mega Drive. Number 19.
So that's Bolt's number 19. Who's next?
Yeah.
Is it Heracles next?
Wasn't it out for Sega Saturn as well? This one.
Would have been. It would have been, yes.
Maybe, yeah. I played it on. I played it on Mega Drive.
The white ninja.
Yeah, yes, it would have been out on the Genesis. Would have been out on that one. Okay, Heracles, you're number 19. Oh, you don't have a 19, do you? No.
I
Okay.
don't know.
Moving up, half
Okay.
up, 19.
It's me. Okay. Number 19. Not sure if I'm going to win this one. Not sure, but this falls back to how much I enjoyed playing it with my friends. And I had to pick Soul Calibur
2,
3.
surely. 3!
I was going to
Three.
say 2 as well.
Oh,
was like 2.
controversy.
It was close.
Controversy.
In my top 5 favorite fighting games video, I did say Soul Calibur 2 pipped Soul Calibur 3.
Because it's the best.
Well, that's what I thought until I was reminded. No, it's not, because Soul Calibur 3 is like Soul Calibur 2, but just better in basically every way.
Which one had Yoda?
You had Sport.
I played that
Soul Calibur 4. That was 4.
Yeah, that's the only Soul Calibur I've ever played was 4.
In Soul Calibur 2, my main was Huang in Soul Blade and Soul Calibur 1. And then in Soul Calibur 2, they took him out and replaced him with Yun Sung in a very much sort of Baek Hwarang type situation, where he was basically the same character, but not quite the same. And then Huang wasn't in Soul Calibur 3, but in Soul Calibur 3, you could make your own characters, which I think was the first for the series, and you could choose his moveset to put into a character you've made. So you couldn't pick Huang in the game, but you could make Huang or someone with his moves. I also made a guy using Maxi's moves, and he dressed him like I dressed him like Father Christmas, and I called him FC 2000. So imagine a slim Father Christmas doing Maxi's moves, and just the fights. Me and Stav with our Siegfried battles, and Naf would just pull out Voldo and destroy us with that charged up move that you can't sidestep. Damn, Soul Calibur 3 was damn good, and damn, it's my pick for number 19.
I had your
Voldo
mum
was so
make Wang.
degenerate.
Oh, right, so, yes.
Is it
I
me?
guess we're on to the Panda.
My pick for number 19 is Grand Theft Auto 3. Because it was ahead of its time for how long it came out. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it took the game from obviously 2D top down to 3D, and it was just an amazing game. I can't think of anything bad to say about it really, other than the protagonist didn't talk. But I mean, that even wasn't that big of an issue. So
No, it wasn't an issue during the game. I can tell you
exactly.
I can tell you something that's
you'll
wrong
probably
with
go
it,
off on.
but I'm not gonna. I mean, look, you got to respect what it did at the time. There was nothing like GTA 3 when it came out. For GTA, all the time I was playing GTA 1 and 2, me and a lot of people were like, man, I wish this game was just like in 3D. But you know, the PS1, poor little PS1 can't handle it. And then the PS2 came out, brand new console, and they went, yo, GTA 3. And everyone, even Heracles, was like, oh, this is all of my dreams realized in 3D and well, no, it wasn't high definition, but it felt like it. And GTA 3 was just unbelievably. I'm trying to put it into context. Young kids
Revolutionary.
yeah, it was revolutionary. There was nothing it set the standard.
Ender just said it. It created a new generation of open world games.
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say it set the standard of what 3D open world games were possible. And
I think it was the original. Wouldn't you say it was like the first? Because I remember. GTA
I wouldn't like to make such a bold claim. I don't know if it was the
GTA
first.
came out, and my flatmate said, "You got to play this game." I've just stolen a ship and run it into the harbour. Got out and had a firefight with the cops. I'm like, what? Well, I was busy playing other games. I just couldn't wrap my head around that concept. He said I jumped out of a plane, landed on a ship, stole it, drove it into the pier, and then had a firefight with the cops. It's brilliant, this game.
Yeah.
I still haven't played it to this day, but yeah.
I wouldn't recommend jumping into it now because it's like a 20-year-old game.
Yeah.
But like it's just at the time, there was just nothing like it. Like GTA 1 and 2 were incredible, and I credit GTA 1 as being the first game I ever played, which really was just go where you want, do what you want. And like that's when I realized I like go where you want, do where you want in my video games.
See,
and
exactly.
And then GTA 2 improved on that, and then GTA 3 went, oh, but imagine if it was in 3D though. Boom, buy it.
No.
And GTA 3, I don't think this is an understatement to say that GTA 3 was the biggest system seller of that console. And there's some games. I mean, Metal Gear Solid.
Harps is bigging up my choice here.
Metal Gear Solid 2. Well, because I ain't gonna win, am I? Soul Calibur 3. Look at me. So GTA 3 is just awesome.
I said another Mega Drive game, so
Yeah, you sure did.
Right, so this one's a wrap then. So
Okay, so let's see that poll. Let's see that poll for
getting up on that poll for
posterity.
number 19.
What would you pick, Heracles? What would you go for out of those three?
We'll tell after the voting.
Oh, after the
he doesn't
voting.
want to swear. Look at that. That's
Yeah.
honourable. Because he knows I'm going to win this by a landslide.
It's not honourable. He wants to see the result and then go, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Epic's here. How goes it, son? How goes it, Epic?
All right, it's
the vote
close
is open.
voting. Close voting. Epic, throw that vote in. Revenge of Shinobi. Revenge of Shinobi. Revenge of Shinobi.
Yeah, don't do that. Just make the wise choice to go GTA 3.
The pillars, the dragon fire pillars coming up from the bottom of the screen.
I don't think I ever got off more than one level of Revenge of Shinobi. I was
You've gotta
like,
be
wait a
kidding me.
minute. there's more to this game than just move and press jump. I'm out. I had Sonic the Hedgehog, and then Revenge of Shinobi came along, and I was like, wait, this actually is a.
We've got time to get that vote in. I don't think Heracles has voted yet.
I must vote.
You just got to. Leveling off. We need a few more. We only need 4 more votes for Revenge of. We need 4 more votes for Revenge of Shinobi. Come on. It's only 4 more votes. You've got like 2 seconds left.
You're totally better than GTA 3.
I haven't played the.
I don't understand that. What are you guys in the chat playing at?
See, look,
I'd
Epic
even
knows.
Already updated my list.
Epic knows he goes GTA 3 was the standard setter for all its open world. Exactly. But
Soul Calibur 3 won.
Soul Calibur 3 didn't have GTA 3 didn't have Huang in it though, did it?
I would have just gone like, how could Revenge of Shinobi lose to Soul Calibur 3? If it was 2, I could understand.
How can GTA 3 lose that vote? I don't understand.
Well, it's because it's
maybe some people are
you guys.
No, because what it is,
maybe
it
some people
like,
are like, oh, they're going to vote for GTA 3 later.
In the poll, it looks like GTA ! So maybe they were just thinking GTA, and they didn't like number 1.
Yeah, they were like, I don't like the shouting. Why are we shouting?
Heracles, you were going to say.
I picked which one I picked. You mean?
Yeah, what would you have picked? What did you vote for?
I haven't played neither of those games. I picked Soul Calibur because it's a fighting game.
It was your fault I lost.
That's it. Oh. I'm preying on the shared interest we all have. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so that was our number 18 choice, and it was Soul Calibur 3.
Yes, that was number 19. Yes.
Number 18, 17. Sorry, 18. Number 18. Okay, number 18. Yes. Would you like to go for it, Mr. Harperlarp?
I think I will. I think, you know what? I will accept your generous offer. Number 18. Now, this is the one... Streets of Rage 2. Streets of Rage 2, there I said it. It was a tough choice between this and another game called Streets of Rage with a different number at the end of it. But this one is just the classic, mate. It's just... what can be said? Everyone agrees. The Streets of Rage 2 is the total package. It's got the graphics. It's got the music. Oh, the music. It's often praised for its soundtrack by some guy whose name I didn't bother to learn. It's got the gameplay as well as the graphics and the music and the sound effects. There's loads of 2D beat 'em ups out there, right? If you play one on Nintendo and you punch someone, it goes like... But if you played a beat 'em up on a Mega Drive, especially Streets of Rage 2, it was... Mate, it was just so visceral, and you could do forward punch, and then no one knew what he said. Some people thought he said grand upper, some people thought he said bare knuckle, some people thought he said grandma's fist. You couldn't tell, but all we knew was that there was a sound in there of a man's voice, kinda, and that was cool. Also, Blaze was in it.
Blaze was awesome.
Blaze is awesome in Streets of Rage 4.
She was awesome.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, you were hitting the lab with her. In more ways than one. So anyway, Streets of Rage 2 is my number 18.
Right, Panda.
My number 18 is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
How am I going to win?
I prefer... See, you think your list is perfect, Harps, but then you hear mine, and every single time mine's been better than yours, but the chat's gone weird and voted against me, so...
Well, you might... I may share games with you, but just in different places.
Well, there you go. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. I preferred Resident Evil 2 because it was slightly more horror-based. I felt 3 was a little bit more action-based. And they're my top 2 favourite Resident Evil games. But am I just giving away what might be slightly...
I almost did that a couple of times.
But yeah, basically, it was a follow-up to Resident Evil 2, which is a great Resident Evil game, and it was just more of the same, but more action-based, which slightly knocked it down in my estimations. But yeah, great game. So,
but you could dodge his attacks.
Yeah, I know, but it was.
And he runs at you with
Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2. I know you don't like that game, but Dino Crisis 1 was more horror, and 2 was too much action, and then 3 set in space, and it's absolute rubbish. But Resident Evil 3, it was a little bit too action-based compared to Resident Evil 2, but it's still a godlike game. So yeah, 18, Resident Evil 3.
I could get that.
A man doesn't like action, Panda there.
I like a little bit of action with a little bit more being scared at the same
Wait,
time.
hang on. Wait. Panda's like, I like a little bit of action, but his problem with Doom was there's not enough action. I mean,
I get lost. I didn't get lost.
His real problem with Doom was that he got lost on level 2.
I can't read the
map.
Okay, this is there's no real way of being able to do this unless I just sort of do this. Yeah, I can do this, and that is
he
my
going to try and
number
show
18
us?
is Streets of Rage 2, right there.
On number 18.
Number 18, Streets of Rage 2.
Streets of Rage 2. We've both said Streets
We've
of Rage
both
2.
said
Number
Streets of Rage 2
because it's way too
at
low.
the
I'm just going to throw that out
same time.
there. That needs to be higher up the list than number 18.
Streets of Rage 2.
Hint, hint.
The music, yes, I absolutely agree. The music, the insane action, just having a long-haired bad guy called Shiva was anime AF. It was just a superb love letter to 80s and 90s anime at the time. And I had the bare knuckle version. My version was the import version from Hong Kong. So I got.
He calls me a hipster.
Yeah, mine was bare knuckle. Bare knuckle. So yes.
Bare knuckle.
Streets of Rage 2, stroke bare knuckle 2, stroke definitely beating Resident Evil 3.
It should be higher up the list.
I should have guessed Bulk was going to say that, because as soon as I said, oh, and the music, I saw Bulk going like that. And he knows.
Knowing nod. And I'm going to remind Heracles that it's basically a fighting game.
It needs to be. If you vote, it's a waste. That's all I'm saying.
I say a vote for Streets of Rage is never a wasted vote, people.
I mean, look,
never a wasted
18's
vote.
too low. I'm just gonna
Panda
say
might
that.
have Streets of Rage. Panda might have Streets of Rage 2 higher up. But if he
might
does,
do, yeah,
but if he does, right, you don't know what he's going up against. That's what I'm
Exactly. So,
Yeah, so,
both Harps
right.
and I believe
But-
that there are more worthy games.
Don't forget that Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is a godlike game. It's not as godlike as Streets of Rage 2. It's lower down the list, whereas Streets of Rage should be slightly higher up.
It's
than
not
this.
as good as
You know what
Streets
I'm
of
saying?
Rage 2. All right, let's go.
saying.
So
I like
let's
it.
see that
All right,
voting.
Number 18.
All
right.
Bulk might actually win his first game here, and it won't
Congratulations
even
on your
be
joint
completely
win.
his. So
Please vote with me on this one because they've got a head start and it's not fair.
What do
don't
you mean we're going
really
to head
like
start?
it.
You've got
But
bloody.
you're both going to vote and be two against one. So
Yeah,
You've
so
got like
immediate-
seven wins already, haven't you, Panda? All right, the vote is
Four.
live.
Right, the winner, the winner, Streets of Rage 2.
don't let him win.
Oh man, this should be fun.
Oh no,
Oh, man, so
the
yeah.
chats, they are rallying around Panda. They
Yes.
are they are
They know.
trying desperately to see
because
Streets of
they
Rage
know it's
2
better than
higher
that.
up the
You got-
list.
I
You
did
guys
my
have underrated Streets of Rage 2, though. You've underrated it
Yeah,
massively.
I love the argument that Panda says, please vote for my game because it is not as good as the other one.
exactly. It's better.
Oh
From,
my goodness.
Yes, he wants to see it voted in later on.
2021, what a time to be alive, people, when the general public believe that Streets of Rage 2 is not as good as Resident Evil 3.
No. They believe it's worthy of an 18th spot, whereas I believe Streets of Rage 2 is worthy of a higher spot than that.
7-2, that is the most convincing hammering we've seen since a very
Since
convincing
Heracles?
hammering
I
I
don't know.
can't say on screen right now.
Something Tinder.
I like the fact Resident Evil 3 just won, and everyone agrees it was the worst game of the two.
It's you two. You two were actually wrong there. It was too
It's
low. You've
not.
underestimated it. Yeah.
All right,
So
enough.
Panda, I haven't underestimated Streets of Rage 2. I just know what's above it.
Yes.
Yeah, so do I. You should see what I've got coming up. Speaking of which, are we on 17 now, and is it me?
I think we're on 17 now.
I didn't
and
even
who picked
bother
first last
writing
time?
down
You
Resident
did.
Evil
You
3
did.
because
Last. Right.
I figured it wasn't going to win.
Right. Yeah, so it was Panda to go for number 17.
Right, let's do this. Number 17, I've got the original Crash Bandicoot. because for me, I was playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles on the Mega Drive, and then this new system came out. The first game I had for it, I think it was the PS1 demo, had the first level of Crash Bandicoot, and I was like, oh my god, you can go this way and this way and that way. It was 3D, and it blew my little mind when I was a kid.
I'm familiar with that feeling.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I can't believe I can move in 3 dimensions here. So, and it was a great, let alone just the mechanics of the fact that you could do that. It was a great game. So
it was solid game.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant game, and the remake's just as good. So, because it's basically the base game with HD graphics. So
yeah, the remake is just a better version.
It's the game. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, number 17 for me is Crash Bandicoot because it's an absolute godlike classic game.
Okay, nice.
Interesting. It's interesting. Speaking of being blown in 3D, in having your mind blown in 3D. Chat. What are you up? What are you up to? Number 17, NBA Jam.
Oh, he's hitting up.
A game I've heard a lot about, but I've never played it.
He's
never played
on
NBA
fire.
Jam.
Yes.
Boom shakalaka.
Yes.
I've sampled it in videos.
NBA Jam. I keep in my head I keep referring to it as NBA Jam '98 because that was the summer that I played it at school. Because we always had a Super Nintendo in the common room at school, and that was what was permanently in there. That was the cartridge that was permanently in there until we could take it out and put Mario
Ed Boon's
Kart
in that game as a hidden character.
Yes, he is.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, and
yeah, he's on the roster because it was Midway that made it. Wasn't it?
Yes,
was it Midway?
it was.
Oh, let me just check what my
I'm going
number
to say.
17 is.
I'm going to go out here on a limb and say that is the only Midway game that is on my list.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I've won number 17 because I just saw what my number 17th was.
NBA Jam. So if you
Right, so you got Crash Bandicoot and NBA Jam.
yeah, Crash
Zero
Bandicoot. I don't know if you really want to go for Crash Bandicoot, then you are
and
frankly
you're a man
wrong.
of culture.
You're
Or
frankly
woman of
wrong
culture.
because it was all about NBA Jam, and that was the best way back then to have a party game. What say you, Mr. Harbalar?
Let me just flip out the big one. Oh, that made a lot of noise. Crash Bandicoot 1, incredible game.
Oh no!
It kind of set the standard for 3D sort of platforming games like that. Pretty cute Pig Panda, pretty cute.
I don't think he's going with this one. I don't think he's
saying-
voting.
He's not
Bulk
saying
with NBA Jam. I mean, never played it, but people talk about it with such reverence. You just gotta respect it, the legacy this game has. But it's not Red Dead Redemption 1, is it?
Oh, he's going for the Blitz vote,
Okay,
isn't he?
he has pulled the big gun out there, hasn't he?
Red Dead Redemption 1 is my pick. Let me see. I didn't play it at first because I was like, cowboys, don't care. Just bear that in mind. Don't care about cowboys. I vote this number 17th in my favorite games ever. My mate was like, you like GTA, don't you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, play Red Dead then. It's GTA in the Wild West. And I was like, I don't know. It's Wild West though. And he lent it to me. 2 weeks later, gave it back, bought myself a copy. I love Red Dead Redemption 1 quite a scary amount. I'm a fan of GTA, and it is just GTA in the Wild West. You could play poker, you could craft all the outfits, get all the little secret things and stuff done. And it had some of the finest DLC ever made in the Undead Nightmare, or as me and my mate call it, Undead Redemption, where you fight zombies and stuff in the Wild West. And you see Herbert Moon die, which is funny because it turns out he's racist. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 1, I mean,
He's won. We might as well concede here, but
No, I don't know.
I'm
He's,
just voting with him on that one.
He's played incredibly tactically here. He's going for Witt's vote. He's going for Blitz's vote. That's 2 of our 10 votes gone already.
He's got my vote as well, if I'm totally honest.
No, come on. How can you... NBA Jam. Come on, people.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Crash Bandicoot's lost this because it's not as good as Red Dead Redemption 1 or NBA Jam.
I wouldn't have Crash in my top 50.
The poll is live.
Let's go, poll. What are your thoughts on this one, Heracles?
As soon as I saw my 19th, my 17th slot, I was like, oh, sorry, boys. Sorry.
I'm going to vote NBA Jam just because he's being arrogant about it.
Yeah, I would too.
It says Arthur Morgan is the most realistic fictional character to exist. He is pretty realistic. Like, I don't get why everyone loves him so much. I'm just like, he's just like a normal dude. And then I realized, oh, that's kind of his appeal. Everything he says and does is something a normal person would say or do in that situation.
No, I'll tell you what a normal person says or does. It's boom shakalaka. Okay, that's what a normal person
If
does.
someone asks you,
From downtown.
Yes,
If
from
someone-
downtown. He's on fire.
if someone tries to invite you to go fishing, you don't just give out Arthur Morgan's catchphrase by going, sure, which is his response to every question he's ever asked. You would say, no, I don't want to catch some crazy disease down at your fishing hole. Now give me my hat back. And then you shoot him.
You guys, the chat isn't quite working on the tactical voting here. They're not quite up to speed with it. But I think we need to.
This time they had to listen to their hearts. They just had to, didn't they?
But I think it was only me and you that voted for NBA Jam, but I didn't even vote for Crash Bandicoot. I voted for NBA Jam.
I had my Crash Bandicoot higher, much higher maybe.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're doing with
But
that.
I voted for it anyway. It wouldn't be the winner. So
Okay, well, I wouldn't have Crash Bandicoot 1 in top 25. Definitely.
Thinking my Crash and Saint Trilogy.
Crash Bandicoot probably wouldn't even make my top 100, if I'm honest.
Well,
Yeah, but it came out
Again,
during a
you're-
time when you were
you're
not
entitled to
playing
be
much,
wrong.
weren't you?
Yeah, I wasn't playing video
it's
games that
based
time.
on my feelings. Based on
I mean, yeah.
what each game makes me feel.
Exactly. That's what this list is all about. No one here is saying that Bulk might be, but no one here is saying NBA Jam is objectively a better game on a technical level than Red Dead Redemption 1. But he clearly looks back on it with more fondness than he does for Red Dead Redemption 1, and that's fine.
or Crash Bandicoot. So
Or Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, I will not say that because it'll give away some stuff. So let's move on to number 16, shall we? So this must be Mr. Bulk's time to
It
shine.
is indeed. Okay, so this one's not going to get a vote.
none of your other ones have either.
But I'll still vote for it because I really enjoyed this game, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's a flight simulator, and
Delete.
and I played this on a PC, which at the time was almost cutting edge. It was a 286, and the game I'm talking about
He calls us nerds. Carry on.
is Gunship 2000. Gunship 2000 was a helicopter flight sim that was set in the desert, and then when you got through Iraq, you then ended up in the European theatre of war, and you basically flew around in all sorts of helicopter gunships, blowing stuff up and dropping
It
off
sounds
the
like
occasional
Jungle
car.
Strike for nerds.
It is. It is. It is exactly that. Now, the worst and simultaneously best thing about it is that it really tried to delve in deep with the helicopter simulator part and then give you a massive cheat code. So, if you had 2 analog joysticks operating on your PC, you could fly a real sodding helicopter. And let me tell you, flying a helicopter is not easy.
No,
It's not easy.
No, you don't just get in and go. I've seen how they do this.
It's not like a car. It's not like a bike. It's not like a bicycle. You can't just hop in and go. You have to keep your throttle going to keep you off the ground. Otherwise, you die. You can't go left or right, or you die. You can't press forward or backward, or you die. If you then just simply clicked auto level, I think was the option, then you just put power level up, and it took you to a height that you didn't die. Which is unless you
Nice.
deliberately crashed. So you could do that. But if you wanted to be a masochist, you could play I want to be serious about this thing. Now the
Yeah, you
problem
can play.
was
I
with this
bought the
game.
simulator for a reason.
Yeah, the problem obviously with this game is that they then took the other part of helicopter flight and gunshippery very seriously, and that's flying anywhere takes a bit of time. So if you had a waypoint
Yes.
that was 30 kilometers away, and that's where you might find your enemy, then you'd set your route and you'd go there, and it would take you 20 minutes in real time that you couldn't speed up.
I thought you're supposed to be putting forward a case for why it's good, though.
No, you could speed it up a little bit, but some of the waypoints were so far away that it would have been that I've been sat there in front of a monitor for 10 straight minutes at 3 times speed, waiting for my helicopter to get to the waypoint. By the time I've gotten there, I'm down to like half my fuel reserves, which means I've got to destroy it and then head back, and then I miss my next 2 objectives, which
You're like, what am I doing here?
Exactly. So yeah, and it was a great game because I got to fly an Apache helicopter gunship. and tool
I think
it
you'd
up.
like Jungle Strike because it sounds like that but good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, but the problem is that it was too realistic for its own good. It was too hipstery for its own good. That's the
My
problem.
mate had a flight simulator. I don't know which one it was, but he had it on his dad's computer back in the day. And yeah, he took off from somewhere in the world, and he told the computer, "Yo, I want to go here." And then we went to sleep, and we woke up in the morning to find this Concorde landed nose first on a runway, and as soon as it crashed, the game must have just gone flight over, and it just stopped there.
Yeah.
So we found this Concorde balancing on its nose, and I was like, "Good game, good game." That's my experience with flight simulators.
So that's number 16. I really loved it, even though it was, and I guess that's probably Jesus Abandoned Us is here. Thank you very much
is
for
here.
being here, Jesus Abandoned. We're talking about some serious stuff here, Jesus. Yeah, so that's my game, and I guess that's why I have chosen fighting games and tough fighting games above all, because it was masochism, Gunship 2000, having to wait basically half a day to go nowhere, run out of fuel, and not make it back to base. Yes.
It sounds like the kind of thing that you could actually get into, though, and there obviously is a big market for stuff like that.
Well, not in
I mean,
1991, there wasn't.
I played Death Stranding, so I know all about tedious, laborious journeys that somehow are actually fun and therapeutic.
Yeah, it's like that.
We need to. I know I've got the power to ban Epic, but can someone else do it? 'Cause he's
Jungle's trying to bring back
for heresy. No, he says Rocket League sucks. He says Rocket League sucks. Heresy. All right, so it's a me. Okay, so folks, number 16. What's my number
What was
16?
it called? What was that
Gunship
called?
2000.
That was called
Flight-
Gunship 2000.
Gunship 2000. Right. Okay.
You know, it's a modern game. It's got 2000 in the title.
So you
Right.
know-
Okay. This is right. I haven't actually checked the rest of my list to see if any others are perfect games, but I have always held this up as a literal flawless game, and I don't bandy that about lightly. It is a flawless game. They could not possibly have improved upon it, and I think that's why that in the, I want to say 12 or 13 years since this has come out, they have not released a new installment in the franchise because they said, why bother? We can't top it. And that game is Burnout Paradise on the Xbox 360 / PS3, an actual flawless game.
Just win this round.
One of the earlier games that I played on the Xbox 360, you know, in fancy new high definition, that was the thing. In glorious 60 frames a second, that was kind of a new thing as well. The graphics were great, the music was banging. DJ Atomica was always there. Every time you turn the game on, he's like greeting you. He's like, "Hello, Paradise City, and this is what, if you look out your window, you'll see that guy crashing. Haha, see you tomorrow." You know, and it was a lot better than I'm making it sound. There was an Avril Lavigne song on there, and it was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that didn't help either.
And I mean, Burnout Paradise, cars, DLC, the multiplayer was one of the most eye-opening experiences I've ever had. Because before the Xbox 360, didn't really game online. I played a bit of Alien vs Predator on PC and a bit of Worms 2 on PC. Awesome experiences. But Burnout Paradise, you would just be there in a single-player lobby, just driving around Paradise City. Then you press right on the D-pad, it brings up your quick menu, and you would just select, like, online, free roam. And then boom, without even any loading, it would just go boom, you're now in a lobby with a bunch of other people. And you can use that same quick menu to bring up a whole list of like objectives that you can complete. And there was hundreds and hundreds of these objectives. There was like 200 for 2-player objectives, 200 3-player objectives, all the way up to 8 players. So you would be in a lobby with a maximum of 8 players, and you would start one of these 8-player objectives, and then it would give everyone in the lobby a message saying, "Yo, get here, we're about to start this objective." And it would be random stuff, like 7 of you have to park in between these 2 ramps, and then one person has to jump over all of them. And then that person that jumped over then takes the place of someone else in the list. And you had to go round until all of you had jumped over everyone else in the lobby. Stuff like that. There was hundreds of those challenges. And that game, I dare you to tell me how they could have made that game better. I dare you. Burnout Paradise, a flawless game.
They could have made it a helicopter sim that was too realistic for its own good.
Or they could have made it, my number 16. You want to talk about multiplayer? In fact, I might be off the mark there. It might be the sequel to this game.
Come on, Panda. Bring
Anyway.
it on. Come on.
My number 16 is Halo 2. Because it was the only... I didn't have an Xbox until I saw my brother talking about this new game called Halo that had just come out. And I was like, Halo, I wonder if we should give that a go. And yeah, bought an Xbox, bought Halo 2. great times ensued, basically. It is an absolute classic first-person shooter. Brilliant game.
It is, yeah.
It's got a great story mode as well. So great story mode and great multiplayer. So
yeah, but
I think it's the first multiplayer online first-person shooter I'd ever played, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was brilliant.
But is it hyper-realistic like Gunship 2000?
no, it's got this thing called fun. Fun over realism.
Harps he's gonna vote for me as well now. Like,
Right, Halo 2. When I first played Halo 1, it was on an Xbox in a shop, and I was like, wow, look at the graphics. And Halo 1 was basically, there were console first-person shooters before that, but Halo 1 came along and said, no, we can make console shooters good. Why don't we do that? And Halo 1 came along and did that in much the same way that something we were talking about earlier did the same thing. But yeah, Halo 2. I mean, yeah, the story, I played through Halo 1, 2, and 3 on campaign co-op with my friends so much. Didn't really touch the multiplayer until the third game. But yeah, Halo 2. It is not a flawless game, so let that factor into your opinions. It is not a flawless game.
You're clutching
but God damn, I would be fucking... I'm sorry. I would be very surprised if Burnout Paradise beats Halo 2. Very surprised.
How am I going to show this to the juniors and say, look, these are 100 incredible games you've got to have in your lives. Just don't listen to Harps.
Yeah. Every time I'm on the mic, mute it. No, these are bad words, and I'm trying to train myself out of saying them because you shouldn't be saying them.
Wasn't that one of your New Year's resolutions, Harps?
I'm trying to answer without swearing. It's difficult. Whew, getting a bit warm in here. Okay, so I think we should do
let's
the
wrap
poll.
up 16. Let's get the poll going.
Oh yeah. We spent a long time on a helicopter flight sim. I had to explain it. That was the problem.
Yes, Gunship 2000 is for that slot. Burnout Paradise is for that slot, and Halo 2. The poll is now live. Everybody, check your chats and keep those eyes.
Yeah, you guys know what to do. You know what to vote for there.
Oh, he's trying to appeal to the Utes.
I am. I'm
trying to look down with the Utes.
Yeah, I've got like my. Hang on a minute. I've got a vote here. I've got a vote.
I don't even know 2 out of the 3.
Well, you're not meant to know the games. It's my list.
Was that a wit saying, "Where's George"? George is not here. He was here earlier, but shortly before I started.
If you're not gonna do it for me, do it for the hat. Come on, people. Come on.
I don't have to rely on
He's the
pity
only
votes.
person that's voted for Gunship 2000.
I'll take pity votes, but I don't rely on them.
I don't need them.
I know you don't, because you came in and won. You beat a flawless game, and it
I'm
kind
going
of
to win the
upsets
next
me.
round as well. You just wait till the next round.
Oh, I don't remember what mine are after this, so it's going to be fun.
It's 5-all to me and you, by the way. 5-5, and Bulk hasn't won once yet.
I haven't won a single game so far.
And
Did
Bulk's the winner. Halo
Did
2.
Bulk not win? Oh no, Streets of Rage 2 didn't
Streets
win.
of Rage 2 didn't win.
No.
I've got
Resident Evil
Harps has
3
got
beat it.
6 and Panda has got 5.
Oh, is he on 6? Is he? I must have
He's on
miscounted.
6 and
Trying
Panda's
to
on
discredit
5. And
Trying to
chat
discredit my
is
win.
just too young. Too young. Right. Hang on a minute. Let me just get this up.
Who went first then? I did.
I did. I
Bulk
said
did.
Gunship 2000.
Oh yeah, Bulk did,
didn't I?
didn't he? So yeah, sweet.
So it's my turn.
Number 15. Now I've got high hopes for my top 15 because some of them are within the last 2 decades.
All right, here we go. So here's a yet another Xbox 360 title for your boy Harperlap. Number 15, Gears of War 3.
Ooh.
I loved Gears of War 1. Didn't play the online. I loved Gears of War 2. Played Horde mode. Didn't really try the multiplayer. Played Gears of War 3. In very much a Halo situation, I played the first 2 games almost exclusively for the campaign in co-op with friends, and then Gears of War 3 came along. Campaign in co-op was awesome, but the multiplayer, I remember saying several times while I was, in the depths of playing Gears of War 3, that this is my favorite multiplayer game. It just is. It just is. I'm playing it every day. I can't stop. Gears of War 3, the greatest of all Gears of War games. Every Gears of War game after 3 doesn't exist. And Marcus Phoenix is the GOAT.
Surprised I didn't put Gears of War on my list at all. I feel like I missed one out there really because it isn't in my top 25. I'll spoil it there, but
It's probably
no Gears of War games in my top 25, and that's a mistake on my part.
Yeah, Ender says Gears 3. Gears 2 is universally liked more. Well, it clearly isn't, because well, it might be. Have I put Gears of War 2 above it? That's the question. But no, Gears of War 3 is the best. I mean, it just is. Gears of War.
And I prefer 2, but
In what way is 2 better, though?
because I didn't play 3. So
Well, this is. I remember playing Gears of War 2 and thinking, yeah, this is pretty good, but it doesn't. I don't think it's really that much improved over the first game. Then I went back and played the first game, and I was like, oh, this is very much improved. It feels way less clunky. And the same was for 3. I thought, this isn't much different to 2. And then I went back and played 2, and I was like, oh no, this is old and jank now. 3 is the superior. I'm looking to see if anyone's going to try to answer the question of how Gears of War 2 is better than 3, because I do not think it is in any way. Trying to think of one. Nope. Story,
I don't think
graphics,
anyone's
controls, sound, music. I mean, everything's just better in 3. Just factually is.
right. So
Oh, Ender says
15
Maria's death. Oh, yeah. See, here's the thing. I never cared about Maria's death. I thought it was weird when you saw what had become of her. That was a creepy image. But I was never like, man, I'm so invested in Dom and his wife from these weird flashback things they have in between missions. So yeah, that didn't bother me. Gears of War 3 also has what does it have? it's got awesome stuff. It's got you riding a no wait, that's the first game, isn't it? Where you ride a blue Mac. It's got stuff. Trust me, it's in there.
it's got some things and some stuff.
It's got
some
the
stuff
Queen
and things.
of the Locust.
Stuff and things. It's official.
It's got the Queen of the Locust getting capped. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it's got spoilers by the way. Dom's death in Gears of War 3. Come on.
Yeah, that was How could
An
you forget
anonymous.
that?
Oh,
Or did you just want to avoid the spoiler?
Right, just a news in here. An anonymous gifter gave It's the French Blitz a tier 1 sub. Could this be in time for Valentine's? There we go. Enjoy your bulkhead, Blitzy. Enjoy your bulkhead.
I feel so out of the loop right now.
I didn't know you could anonymously gift on Twitch, but there you go.
I didn't know you could anonymously gift. Now I know you can anonymously gift. I'm going to be anonymously gifting.
What's the point of gifting if you can't show it
Brag
off?
about it, yeah.
All right, so let me just check the consultation list. So Gears of War 3 is my pick for number 15.
Oh, 3. I wrote down 2. Sorry.
Gears of War 3, very much 3.
Okay.
Very
So-
much 3.
Does that make it me? Is
Speak-
it me for
That
number
does
15?
make
Go
it
for it.
Panda.
Right. My game for number 15 is Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey. Because it is an absolute classic.
We're getting into the realms now where we just have to vote for each other's.
See, I know how much you love this game as well, but it was. I don't think I've ever played anything like Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey back in the day. It was just brilliant. Like you could.
Is it specifically Abe's Odyssey? That's
Yeah.
your pick, specifically. Okay.
I preferred it. I'll be honest. I preferred Odyssey to Exodus.
Yeah, you are wrong often, aren't you?
But yeah, well, like we say, it was how much we enjoyed the game. I just enjoyed Odyssey more because it was the one I played more. I got into that game with that game, so I haven't played the remake either. But that's the only. I think I did play Exodus, but played Odyssey a lot more and just enjoyed it a lot more in that. And
Yeah, the remake's good, and I mean, Soulstorm on PS5 is one of my most anticipated games. And like,
is that a remake of Exodus? It is, isn't it?
yeah, pretty much, yeah, because in Exodus it's all about the Soulstorm brew drink that's like hyper addictive. But yeah, I think like the only game because I agree with you, Abe's Odyssey was unlike anything I'd ever played before. The closest you could get was probably Flashback on the Mega Drive, because that was a 2D flick screen sort of adventure. And I remember playing that and not getting too much into it. But when Abe's Odyssey came around, I mean, like, what was that, 97? So I would have been 13, 14-ish. So I was like, farts and hello and follow me. This is my kind of stuff. I can deal with, look, and you can possess people and make them explode. This landed at the right time.
I would have been 36, so I don't know about that.
You what, sorry?
You said I was 13, 14 at the time. I would have been 36.
It doesn't get this fart humour.
Yeah, it's like, what is this fart of which you speak? So, yes, Abe's
Odyssey. Okay, right. My number 15. Final Fantasy VIII. Final Fantasy VIII. Squall and the crew. Bring your gunblades to the party. It's Final Fantasy VIII, is my number 15. It was the very first game that I set as a reward for my first paycheck back in the day. So that was the game that I chose to buy with my earned money, and I played the bejesus out of it. And
Got your money's worth.
I did indeed. But yes, I was excited to see posters for it when I started working, and I thought, I want that in my life, and let me spend some money that I'm gonna make my own off the sweat of my own brow. Final Fantasy VIII, Skool and the boys, gunblades were a ting. Once you Bulk had an allowance. Yes. So the visuals, which were I don't know if they were a step up and yet simultaneously a step back from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, they wanted to go for more realistic shapes, which
Yes,
I prefer,
but
that meant smaller textures.
Exactly, it was just so pixel arty was the issue. But the triple triad card game is a game that you'll want to play for the rest of your days.
I want to play it right now.
Yes.
I have no idea what these guys are on about. I've never played a Final Fantasy game, so I'm gonna sit out of this one.
So there we go. Final Fantasy VIII, as the Italians would say.
I must say, I did not think Gears of War 3 would be going up against two games that are just better. There we go. So the poll is now active. Gears of War 3, Abe's Odyssey, Final Fantasy VIII. All three of those games.
Final Fantasy VIII. Come
I
on,
didn't know
people.
you played a role-playing game, Bulk.
Come on, people. Oh my god, it hasn't even got a vote yet. Let's fix that.
You know why? Because people are like, oh, is that 7? Click. Oh, no, wait, it's not.
Final Fantasy VIII. Thank you, Whitney, for the pity. It's the hat. It's the hat. It's the power.
How? How is that? Okay. Well, okay.
Heracles, go ahead.
Randomly, I voted. I haven't played those games.
Oh, I should vote.
Yes, for Final Fantasy VIII. Come on, Final Fantasy VIII.
I almost did then.
It's that good.
Man.
It's that good.
Bulk win.
Come on.
Will he win?
Yes,
Will
of
he
course.
though? Because he's been pipped every time.
So,
Come on. Come on, people.
He's done it.
Yes. Yes.
He's got a dub on the board.
I feel like I've hit my Gunblade Super. I've hit the trigger perfectly every single time.
Oh, that feels good. Getting that critical hit.
That's right, and I've just won Doom Train on Triple Triad.
No, it's all about getting Ifrit early on, son. Get that Ifrit card.
No, and then,
do most of the work.
Your first playthrough, you lose all of your summons immediately in Triple
Sound
Triad.
like such nerds.
No, you don't lose. You don't lose your summons because you save it before every game, obviously.
Well, you purist.
That's what I used to do. Yeah, I was like, I want this awesome card, and if I lose one, I'm just going to reload it.
I told you I had high hopes
I call
for
it
my
it's a
top
single player
15.
game.
There we go, top 15. Final Fantasy VIII is your number 15. We're now into our final four for this episode, people.
Yeah, we can do the top 10 next
episode.
week or next episode.
Right, there we go.
It's Panda to go first, I believe.
Right, what are we on, number 14, yeah?
Number 14.
Right, my number 14 is revisiting a franchise I brought up earlier. It's back to Grand Theft Auto with Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Oh my goodness.
Because the soundtrack, you were talking about the music, the soundtrack to GTA Vice City is absolutely incredible.
Best video game soundtrack of all time.
Yeah, see, there you go, Hops Nose. On top of all of that,
But that's because it's real music. You can't just say it's the best video game soundtrack of all time if it's just music.
Oh, if you buy the soundtrack to that game, guess what you'll get? You'll get that music.
But then you just pick all the albums that are in your cupboard on your shelf, right?
Yeah, but I don't even need to do
No,
that.
Bulk, no one has physical medium music anymore. Come on.
But it basically took everything that was good about GTA 3 and did what Rockstar does with their sequels and just turned it right up to 11. So it was improved in almost every way over GTA 3, which was already a godlike game. So
This is exceedingly interesting, and it I do feel it bears noting that Grand Theft Auto 3 was voted for earlier. It was submitted as a game, but it didn't win the vote. And I was wondering if maybe that's because people thought there are better Grand Theft Autos, so we're just waiting for those. I don't know. It's just something to bear in mind.
Something to bear in mind there. So GTA 3, Panda, number 14.
I agree with Panda because Vice City is just better in every way.
Well,
Exactly. So we got GTA Vice City number 14. Bulk, what's your
I
one?
feel like I'm not going to win this one, but I'm going to appeal to Iraklis here. 14. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution is my number 14.
I rented that once.
It is Virtua Fighter was the first 3D fighting game and introduced young Balkinson here to the notion of a just frame. My character, Akira, which everyone who didn't know Virtua Fighter picked immediately because he looked like Ryu from Street Fighter. So you ended
And
up
he was called Akira.
Yeah, you ended up picking Akira, and he was the most far removed from Ryu in Street Fighter you could possibly have. And he was also the most technically difficult character in the game to play, and he had a just frame move. It was a 3-button game. The buttons were punch, kick, and block. You'd have them on your stick like that, so you go 1, 2, 3 here. And his just frame move was kick plus block, and then let go of block after 1 frame. Now,
so what you're saying is you like to pick characters that are hard, so you can brag about it later in life.
No, I didn't realise that he was so difficult. I picked him because he looked like Ryu from Street Fighter, and everyone did.
Was he also very strong?
Yes, it turned out he was also the best character in the game by quite some margin.
Sounds like typical Bulk.
Now, the problem with the just frame is that was his main combo filler.
Oh no!
It wasn't like anything else where, oh wow, you get to do it once and you get a big payout. No, it was his main combo filler, which you needed to be able to do 2 or 3 times at the beginning of the combo.
That's why I don't learn Kazuya, because perfect electric wind is 3 in a row. That's not happening.
Just imagine if every combo had to be 2 perfect electric wind godfists to start.
I would do what I actually did, which is use Jackie. Is it the blonde guy?
Yeah, Jackie.
I just remember seeing the characters for Virtua Fighter, like, because I had a PlayStation, so I had Tekken, but I would read magazines and see pictures of Virtua Fighter, and I'm like, oh look, Ryu, Ken, Nina Williams.
Yes. But Virtua Fighter did come out first, and then
it did.
Then Tekken ripped all the characters from it. It's like, oh,
it sure did.
Blonde guy and his sister. Oh, we'll take them. Yeah, we'll take that one. Nina. Yeah. So Sarah became Nina, and they had it's not as bad as Tekken, where they couldn't really find inspirational Western names, but you did have some decent Western names with Wolf and Sarah's a good name, Jackie's a good name. At least
there's nothing wrong with those names.
In Tekken, you're not exactly intimidated by Brian and Paul and Steve.
I'm intimidated by Jackie, just by just saying.
Yeah.
If there's one thing you could say about Tekken, it's that realism is something that it always strives for, and people do have those names. I mean, I'm sure there is a true ogre somewhere out there in real life. Someone must be called that.
And he's a bare-knuckle fighter. Okay,
someone must have a panda, and it's called Panda. It must exist. But we do right there.
I will also say, there are a couple of sound effects from the Virtua Fighter series that are instantly recognisable, like the coin going in and the game over thing, and the soundtrack was good. The only thing I disliked about Virtua Fighter was it wasn't as impactful as Tekken. When you hit someone in Tekken, you feel it. It's like they throw their whole body behind it, and the other person sways back and all of that. And in the Virtua Fighter, they just sort of bounce a bit. But it's still it's still my 14th favourite game of all time and most influential and impactful. So there you go, Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution.
Oh, sorry, Evolution. Sorry, I gotta specify. I've gotta spell it correctly as well. Evolution, not evolution. To people in the chat right now who's saying it wrong. Panda. Right.
Do I play MK with this engine? Just read the chat there. Thanks, Blitz. Here's my stick, Blitz. I've actually got a super firm stick here, as you can see. It's super firm. The action is very.
Low hanging fruit is low hanging again.
He's really proud of his foreign elastic bits he's put in there recently.
It's Korean rubber. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Korean rubber. Sorry, I forgot the technical term. All right. So, what number are we on, chaps? Number 14.
Yeah.
And what did you pick? You picked Virtua Fighter 4 and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Damn, I can't go into this with eternal confidence because I feel that one game in the list that's already been submitted might have doomed my pick. But it's Doom Eternal. The greatest first-person shooter of all time, question mark? That's up to you. Doom Eternal, what can be said? I mean, look, Doom 2016.
Snarky freak.
I remember playing Doom 2016 and going, how could they possibly improve this? And then they went, here's how. And Doom Eternal is better in every single way. You wanted lore? Boom, they give you lore. You want to know how Doom Guy got his powers of speed and strength to match his limitless rage? You find out. You want to know if Doom Guy from the original Doom and Doom Slayer from the later games are the same person? You find out. You want to find out if the name Doom Guy is canon? You find out. You want to blow a hole, literally blow a hole into the side of Mars to get to a portal in the middle of Mars that takes you to a specific place in hell so you can then travel to heaven and kill it. Doom Eternal.
My MacBook is continually correcting Virtua to Virtue. How do you get rid of the autocorrect on a MacBook?
That's a question for another time. No one knows. I don't use a Mac.
Let's just call it Virtue Fighter. Let's be done with
Virtue Fighter. Yeah, okay.
Virtue.
So yeah, Doom Eternal. I mean, the soundtrack is pretty killer. You know, I mean, it would be perfect if Mick Gordon did the music for Mortal Kombat 12, but it's probably not going to happen. So, Doom Eternal. Do I want to say it's a flawless game? That's a big statement. I don't think it's flawless, but probably the most fun you could have with two sticks in your hand.
Well, I don't know, chap. I mean, you talk about flawless Virtua Fighter 4. Just saying. Just putting it out there.
I don't even need to put my game out.
I like it when Bob was like, it's less impactful than Tekken. That's a real good way of saying it's really boring compared to Tekken.
It's not. It's a real expert's game.
It's less hype.
It's not less hype. People still compete in it today. You will still be able to go to Tokyo and find a Virtua Fighter 4 arcade cab.
I almost wrote Virtua Tekken then.
And Tekken.
And that's one. Doot Eternal. All right, here comes the poll, everybody. Boom! Let's vote in that poll.
Let's vote with the heart of the cards, people. Come on.
Don't pity vote anymore.
No, you don't need to pity vote because it's Virtua Fighter 4. Come on, it's Virtua Fighter 4. And it's a fighting game, so come on, Heracles.
I mean, you've got Doom Eternal, the greatest first-person shooter. You've got GTA Vice City, the greatest soundtrack of all time.
Is it the greatest first-person shooter? Really?
You've got Virtua Fighter, the greatest what exactly? It doesn't have the greatest anything.
It's made by Sega, and that's important.
It doesn't even have the greatest look back with fondness from Bulk.
The one-player game, you could go around all of the different arcades in the city and play the champion of that arcade, and they were based on real people. And you had a ghost battle mode where you fought against actual top pro players. They just took their data and made the CPU move exactly like that player. That's
pretty cool.
It is.
That is quite cool.
It is very cool.
You probably should have mentioned that before the poll started. But that was actually a pretty cool feature. Doom Eternal wins. I was not expecting it to beat out GTA Vice City. Not at all.
I wasn't expecting it to beat Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. Come on, people.
What was Heracles trying to say there?
Heracles, go ahead.
Word in there.
I did vote for Virtua Fighter, of course.
Did you?
So that's
why
votes.
I tied up with Vice City then.
The two votes were me and Heracles.
Oh my goodness. Pardon me. Yeah, I mean.
Without Virtua Fighter, there would never be a Tekken as we know it.
This is true. This is very, very true. Very, very true.
And without Without
you
the-
guys that you play Tekken, you should vote for the software, in my opinion.
Without the grandfather of Doom Eternal, you wouldn't have Doom Eternal. So
Okay, it's a very, very worthy addition, Doom Eternal. It just makes me feel sick when I watch it. Right.
yeah.
Is it my turn next?
Let's see. It was me, and then it was Panda. It is indeed Mr. Bulk for number
Okay,
13.
Well, here we go. My vote for number 13 is a game that no one's going to vote for. It's a
Shock.
game. It's a game called MUDS. MUDS, and it stood for Mean, Ugly, Dirty Sport. And I have a clip which I'm trying to bring up, but
There's a Harps' mum joke in there.
Yeah.
the way it's described, the way it was described, I'm gonna have to minimize this video. Where do I find? Oh, maybe if I go to Chrome. I'll try Chrome. There we go. Oh no, because
It's always good to change browser midstream.
Yes, exactly. Yes. The stream hasn't gone funny, has it? Like funny?
No.
No. Okay. Right. I'm double
I mean,
clicking
it's always
on
been pretty
Safari.
funny. But,
Oh, I see. It needs me to.
Wit says,
Oh,
I've
you
only
just-
heard one of Bulk's games.
I think you should just accept that he's going to lose, even if he does
Same.
bring his clip up.
Yeah. I mean, he feels the need to just try and show people what this game is.
I really want to show people what this game's all about. I might explain it and then let you two explain your bits while I try and pull up Safari, but it's not letting me pull up Safari at the moment. I'll pull up Chrome and then do YouTube through that. Anyway, although other streaming platforms are available. Now, MUDS. Now, what it was fantasy rugby. You travelled around this old Tolkien-style world.
How is it worse than I even thought it was? I thought it was like cartoon. I thought it was cartoon American football, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, with your band of hapless trolls, snakes, worms, cockroaches, lizard men, humans, and whatnot.
Sounds awesome, to be fair.
Playing a game that was known creatively around the world as MUDS. They just called it MUDS. You met up in a. Went to each town, and you challenged that town's team. Like a Sunday football league, you could go
and it would store the world champion's ghost in the game, and you could play the champions as you go from place to place.
No.
Oh.
You could go to the tavern prior to the game and get the other team drunk. You could get your own team.
So this game wins, is what you're saying. Sorry to interrupt, but I just had to say.
And it did have an effect on the way they played the next day. You could get your own team drunk, which did have an effect on the way your team played that the next day. You could, while you were getting drunk, have one of your team get into a fight randomly that you had no control over, and they might die. Deaths were
I'm starting to
permadeaths.
come around. I'll have to get an emulator in place.
Yes.
All deaths were permadeath. You couldn't do anything about a dead team member. The ball was not a ball; it was a flonk. It was
Flonk.
Yes, and the flonk was an imaginary creature that was shaped like a rugby ball, but had tiny feet and a little tail. And you could meet someone pre-match and do something called flonking, which was bribing the flonk to come to your players. And
Is it just me, or does it sound like he's making this up?
What's the name of this game?
MUDS.
What did you put in that coffee?
What's the actual name of it?
MUDS. MUDS. It's called MUDS.
Yeah. Well, I typed that in, and it came up with everything else.
No.
but video
You have to put
games.
dots. M.U.M.U.D.S. And you're flonking. FLONKING. And it was
He's making it up. He's
You'd
gotta be
pass the
making
ball
this
up.
around your team,
It's not coming up with your game.
and you
How is that 14th on your list of greatest
because
games
it was
ever?
amazing.
It does sound good.
How
I
didn't
wanna
you hear?
play
You
it.
can get the other team drunk and have your players die in bar fights.
Yes, you could.
It does sound good.
You'd shoot the flonk into the basket for your points, or you could do a slam dunk. And if you slam dunk, it was more accurate because you wouldn't miss.
You got a flibble.
Yeah, and you would, but between the pitch and the net was a moat. Remember, this is fantasy. And if you
I
landed in
think
the
I
moat,
found what he's talking about.
if you land in the moat, there is a creature that can eat you. Now you'd have to swim as fast as you could to get out of the moat, but occasionally the creature would eat you, and sometimes it would hurt that player, other times it would eat them. And permadeath was a thing. So MUDS, MUDS, is my 13th favourite game of all time for ruddy good reason. It's amazing.
Muddy good reason.
Yes, indeed.
It does look good. I found some playthrough.
Yes, there you go.
You actually made it sound awesome.
Yes, I'm looking for that video because I've got a clip that I'm going to show.
Yeah, I can't do that.
It includes the permadeath of an opposing team member in the moat.
Mean,
That's
ugly,
crazy.
dirty sport.
Yes, get that on emulator, everybody. Put that in your lives.
What system was that on? Was that a Mega Drive game?
That was on the PC. It was on my 286 back in the day. My
Mega Drive
my
couldn't handle
brother's
it.
286.
That game was like Speedball.
Yeah.
All right.
Go ahead, please, Harps. Try and top that.
What, for number
13.
13.
Number 13. Oh, it might be controversial at how low down this game is in my list. But I'm going to say Mortal Kombat 11.
Okay.
Some game called Mortal Kombat 11. You might have heard of it. It's pretty good. Pretty good. And I do greatly enjoy playing it. Just not more than 12 other games, apparently. So Mortal Kombat 11, I don't need to say anything else, do I? Because we all know what Mortal Kombat 11 is and what I think about it.
Music's fantastic.
Mortal Kombat 11. It's my 13th favourite game of all time.
Okay.
My number 13 is another Grand Theft Auto game. Harps is probably going to be a bit dismayed at how low this is on my list, but it's Grand Theft Auto 5. Because I didn't play online as much as Harps did, so I did have fun with it online, and it is an amazing game. But yeah, for me, it's my 13th favourite game. Apparently, it's not as high up as other entries from the franchise. Spoiler.
Yeah, the one that's above this is the one I thought you were going to say.
Yeah.
So I'm not massively
So now
surprised to see 5 that low. Yeah, because 5.
But
As
it's
much
a
of a
great
behemoth
game.
as 5 is as a product, yeah, it's. I don't hear anyone talking about it with such reverence as they do with San Andreas or Vice City.
Yeah.
So, what games did you have for your 2?
I've got Grand Theft Auto 5, and he's
You had GTA 3 just now.
5.
No, we had Vice City just now.
Oh, Vice City. Oh, so,
3
I'm
to
sorry.
start with. I've had 3 Vice City and 5.
Which
so
one's
yeah.
Vice City?
It's
The one
the
set
one that's set
in,
in Vice City.
Is it 4? Is it 7? Is it 9?
It's
It's
technically
3.2.
4
technically
because there's
4.
well GTA 5 is the 10th one. You see,
Should I call it Rogue One?
you should just call it GTA 5.
Because it's after 4. No? Okay, fine. GT. Okay, I'll go
Well,
Vice
Rogue
City.
One before 4. It was just before 4. Wasn't it?
Alright.
Yeah, because GTA Vice City is not GTA 4. They are very different
And
games.
Harps-
But GTA Vice City is the 4th.
What did you go for, Harps?
Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, MK. Oh, sorry. I
Yeah,
forgot.
that's the one that came after MKX,
Yeah,
which
I-
is the 10th one.
Sorry, I forgot about it already. Anyway, let me. Right, let me pull this up right here, right now, and I might have to expand this hurt box.
Oh god, he's got MUDS up.
That's the referee. You can see the referee's got a head in the shape of a whistle.
Of course he has. I love it.
Right, let me play this through. This is a person who's playing it on their emulator and giving a blow-by-blow playthrough because it's that worthy.
You can see the grass is pretty green.
That's a flonk. That was a
The
flonk.
referee is on the
They hit the
far
flonk and throw
left.
it in.
And it looks like the team I'm playing is starting off with 3 humans and 2 bulls. Bulls are kind of made for defense. They're very slow, very strong, hard to knock over, and hard to kill. And in this game, you can win.
There he goes. He's gone. He's
scary.
missed. Here comes the thing.
Somebody just jumped into the ditch, and they're about to get eaten by a shark, and we'll cover that here in a second. So they just lost a player, which sucks for them, but it's good for me, because they may have lost one of their best players in their...
Okay. So let me just get rid of that.
That game definitely has a style and a tone,
like it.
and I like it. That's the kind of style and tone that I grew up with as well.
Tell me that isn't just the best thing you've ever seen. It's yes.
Yes.
You have to hit the flonk to subdue it so you can throw it into the pitch. It was just incredible, that game. Way better than GTA.
Well, okay. This
GTA 5, MK11 versus Muds.
I have a feeling Muds might win this, partly because it looks awesome, and partly because people must surely expect the games me and Panda voted for to show up higher in the list. And if they think we put them too low, then they're going to vote for Muds. So anyway, the poll is now beginning. Get your votes in.
All I can say.
What did you say, sorry?
The best graphics versus the worst graphics.
Mortal Kombat 11 versus Muds, and GTA 5 is somewhere in the middle.
Come on, Muds. Think about the
Muds is going to take it,
Think
mate. You know
about
it
the
is.
flonking. You can't vote MK11. Come on, think of Combat League versus flonking. Think of Combat League versus...
MK11's too low.
Come
Think
on,
of a game with a
man.
frame rate of higher than 2, though. Think of that.
Think of the music in MK11 versus the idea of getting your opposing team drunk and killed before the match.
What
Come
is the
on,
music?
people.
We need to listen to it. I don't know what's the music. Only in the character select. Only.
Yeah.
Which game has better graphics, MK11 or GTA 5?
MK11 is not even close, mate. It's not even close. PS5 came out in 2013, and it looks like it.
But which game is better to play? And it appears as though Muds is better to play than GTA 5, and I would
I can't
say,
believe I'm about to say
Me and
this,
you
but I
voted
can't
for
believe
Muds.
Muds won that.
I reckon
Mortal Kombat 11 won.
I reckon Muds won that one because it's just got better music than MK11. And,
Well, we don't know.
And I'll tell you
GTA
right
5
now,
didn't get one vote because I voted for Muds.
there is there's no music in Muds, and it's still better than MK11.
Ooh, sick burn. Sick.
Character select team is nice.
I think we're preaching to a partisan group here. Yeesh.
I think GTA 5 has better music than those two games.
Yeah, but then don't say the Bolt because I get triggered because there's real music.
No, it's forgettable.
Honestly, you guys, you sick puppies, voted for no background music and Combat League over one of the best rugby simulators of all time.
I'd never heard of that before, Bulk, but I still went with you on that one. I voted for Muds. I didn't even vote for my own choice then.
And I can
might
see
even go and play that
I
in a
can
minute.
see you getting that game and loving it. And the next time we do this podcast, the next time we do it, you'll be like, Muds is actually really good.
Muds is totally better than MK11.
Yes.
Right. What are we on to now? 12?
12. That means it's my turn, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
12.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is a game. Okay.
This
It's
is our
called
penultimate,
Oblivion.
by the way. This
right?
is the penultimate one we're going to do today. Doing 12
Yes,
and 11.
yes, we're going to do
and then
12,
gonna stop.
and then 11, and then we're saving the top 10 for next time. So yes, my number 12 is a game called Oblivion, and I first heard of Oblivion when I went to the shop Game, and I had some cash, but I wasn't flush with cash, but I had some cash, and I was like, all right, let's go see the pre-owned games. You can get some deals with some pre-owned games, like 2 for 15 quid or whatever. And I looked, and I saw this game called Oblivion, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and this was in the Xbox Classics section, so the game had already been out for like 2 or 3 years at least. Never heard of it. I looked at the back, and I was like, it looks like some sort of sword and stuff game. All right, yeah, I'll give that a go. And some game called Condemned as well. That looks okay. I'll give that a go. Got both of those for a combined total of £11. And it is the greatest value for money I ever spent on a video game, because we can logic out that Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion cost me £5-ish, £5.50, and it's one of the games I put the most time into in my life ever. It was the first game I ever bought DLC for. It was, when I first played it, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about major skills, minor skills, there's cat people, there's lizard people, what kind of world is this? And then one day it just clicked. I think I've been playing it for
Elder
like...
Scrolls game.
It was my first, yeah. I'd never really heard of it until Oblivion. I was like, The Elder Scrolls 4, never heard of this. So I gave it a go. I had a punt, as they say. And yeah, played it for a few days, and I was like, this is okay, but I'm not quite sure I get it. And then one day, clicked, and I was like, wait, I know how this works now. I know how the leveling system works. I know what's going on. So I started and made a new character, and Boomting began. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds.
So is Oblivion an Elder Scrolls game? Because when you said cat people and
Yes.
lizard people, it sounded like Muds.
No. Oblivion is the Elder Scrolls 4, and Skyrim is the Elder Scrolls 5. So, yeah, Skyrim is... It's hard to call it a sequel because, it's set like 200 years apart and all that stuff, but it's more of a sequel than Final Fantasy games tend to be. And it's still got all the lore and stuff carries over. But yeah, Oblivion, so good, leveling up characters, using sword and shield and magic and all sorts of stuff, and Dark Brotherhood and Lucian Chance and Akatosh and Mehrunes Dagon, and so good, a crazy world that you just put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into it and you still haven't seen everything in it. Oblivion, my number 12 spot.
Nice. Not as good
I
as
don't
Muds,
think your
but
number 12 is as good as my number 12, which is another Metal Gear Solid game. It's Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Because
Wait, what was he called?
Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Snake Eater.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe it was the first game that didn't have a radar.
I also
Like,
believe that's
you
one
can-
of
you can have this- you
it
so
was one of
your,
Heracles' first swipes. Snake Eater.
It could have a radar if you wanted it to, but it was rubbish because because it was set in the 60s, so the radar would only pick up movement of things, and it wouldn't differentiate between the movement of a human and the movement of one of the many, many wild animals in the area. So I always had it off.
I always had it off as well. That's why I just assumed that it didn't have one, to be fair. But it's basically Metal Gear Solid, but you can. But it's just a great game. I can't think of anything really to say about it. It's if you don't know about Metal Gear Solid 3, you're not going to vote for it anyway. But
I mean,
it's
there's so
just
much good
it's
about
a great
it.
game. Yeah, there is
So much.
loads good about it. It's
I used to love finding a new animal, and then I'd phone up paramedic, and I'd be like, "Yo, what's this?" And then she would pull up her encyclopedia. She'd be like, "Oh, the
Yeah, it's
reticulated
poisonous.
python is local to this region. You can tell it's different from the coral snake because of the reticulation is going a particular angle." And then Snake would always go, "Yeah, but how does it taste?" And she'd go, "Well, I wouldn't recommend eating it, but it's not venomous." And he's like, "Good enough for me." Oh, that game.
yeah, you could trap animals and eat them for food and that, and you could use them for venom and
You could catch the legendary Tsuchinoku. Yeah, you could catch an animal alive and then just throw it at an enemy and just to get them out of the way. It's so good.
You put all of that on top of a base Metal Gear Solid game, from going from Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 to that, it's just a great game.
Okay. Which one won the last one? Was it Muds?
It was Mortal Kombat 11.
The one before that. Sorry, the one before that. Doom Eternal or GTA Vice City?
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal one.
Okay. All right. So
Pops is on
I sense my electronic word pad is more useful than the pen and paper technique apparently, because I keep having to correct the pen and paper man. Just saying.
no, because once you've made it, it's permanent. So this will last the test of time until the paper disintegrates and the ink fades.
Yes.
Yes. Or recycling day. Right.
So number 12.
Number 12. My number 12 is an insanely good and possibly overlooked party and friends game. It's Puzzle Bobble or Buster Move 2.
Oh, Buster Move was a great game.
Yes, it came under two names. It was either Puzzle Bobble or Buster Move.
Oh, Buster Move.
It's
Yeah.
Buster
Yeah.
Move.
And
I think it was Buster Move in this country.
it may have been. It may have been. I don't even remember really which version. I think my version was Buster Move.
My mum had Buster Move 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Just saying.
Just the sheer joy of playing simultaneous two-player, looking across at your opponent's screen as you send all of the balls their way, and they're like,
I always thought it was like Columns on the Mega Drive, but good because I always hated Columns. Buster Move was great.
yeah, Buster. It was like two-player Tetris, but this worked.
Yes, it was like a good Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Oh, I knew you were going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up, and I couldn't think what it was called.
Yes. So but Buster Move 2 stroke Puzzle Bobble is my number 12 favorite game of all time. Great visuals, great characters, excellent cute graphics and like concepts and what have you. The music was wonderful, the sound effects were brilliant, and just learning how to do the trick shots. Not having the guide, it gives you the dotted line to don't have that turned on. Just knowing how to do the trick shots and getting the single wall bounce was the double wall bounce into trick shot. Oh, that beautiful.
Yeah, the double wall bounce.
Been the many limitations of this game in mobile.
Yes. Yeah, never
game.
often copied, never beaten, in my opinion.
I've played this game in the arcades though.
Yeah, it was in the arcade. I was the same
I played it in the arcades as well. I don't think I ever played it on a
Look at all these people living near arcades when they grew up. Oh,
I had a cousin that used to have an arcade place, and I was going there and I was playing several games. I won't say anything else for now.
because they're all in his top 10.
Okay.
So let's get
the
this
poll is now live.
Oh, I better expand that box, if you know what I mean.
Expand it real good.
Yes, I'm gonna stretch this thing so that we can get it all in there. Get the massive poll in. I can see that people are not quite on board with the Buster Move. Come on, Buster Move 2. Flinging your balls across the screen, one of the best games of all time. This is indisputable. Indisputable.
Have you played
fact.
Skyrim?
I haven't actually played Oblivion, to be fair. So
yeah,
I haven't played either.
It's nowhere near as good as Skyrim, but it's damn good.
Throwing balls at your friends. We need a tiebreaker.
We need a tiebreaker.
Heracles, Buster Move is a fighting game. Buster Move is a fighting game, Heracles.
No, it is not. Don't listen to him.
He's thinking of Super Puzzle Fighter 2.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a game that everyone could play. It was fun.
Exactly. Solid 3,
it's a bridge builder. Buster Move 2 is a bridge. So, Heracles, I believe you have the deciding vote in this situation.
Did he not already vote?
How are there 9 viewers and we only got 6 votes? You guys in the chat, you need to click on the vote button.
Yeah, you guys.
Should we not just should we not have a recount?
Did you vote, Heracles, just now?
No, I forgot to vote, actually.
Okay, so you can have a decider.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Buster Move.
Buster Move.
How did Buster Move win that?
Because it's
Because it's gold.
And it's my
Buster Move 3 is better. But...
Bitter Harps is bitter.
Ender says, when's the next stream of the top 10, by the way? I think Bulk, if there is an answer, Bulk would have an answer.
It's next Tuesday. Same time next week, fella. Same time next
Tuesday.
Week. I'm just writing down what
what
my choice beat just then. It was MGS3 and...
it beat 2 games that surely must show up higher.
And Oblivion. Yeah. Elder Scrolls...
No one's going to vote Oblivion, though.
Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Oblivion was its future, was his fate, I'm afraid. There.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And Snake Eater was snake eaten by Buster Move.
Indeed, it was properly swallowed up by Buster Move there. Right, is it my? I think it's Panda's turn or my turn.
It's Panda's turn.
Panda's turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
This
This
is
is
our
number
final
11.
one.
This
is number 11.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I wish Spectacular Spider-Man was still here.
Oh, is he not here anymore?
I've dropped in number 11, Spider-Man for the PS4.
Oh.
Because, like Harp said, everything about Spider-Man for the PS2 it's like that, but in Ultra HD. It's the best Spider-Man game they've made by a mile, in my opinion. It's absolutely just hours of fun. It's got a great story. It's really well made. And
I might go as far as to say that it too. I'm just trying to think, but I think it might be one of those fabled flawless games. I don't think there's a way they could have made it better at the time.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I'm a little bit surprised at myself for having it that low down, but the only reason I have is because I played through it once and absolutely loved it. And then I think it might have been around when MK11 came out or something happened. I stopped playing it because I started playing something else, and I don't tend to play too many games at the same time, so that's the
No.
only reason I stopped playing it. But while I was playing it, absolutely loved it.
I played it and all the DLC, got all the trophies 100% on it. That game is so good, and it's not in my top 25.
Is it? Did you forget about it, or did you just
No, it
you
just.
just cut it out?
I know I just said it might be a flawless game, but it's not good enough. It's too fresh for me, perhaps. It's too fresh. I only just played it.
But there you go. That's my choice for number 11, Spider-Man. for PS4.
That's a damn good pick. We're getting into the damn good picks,
It's
getting into the damn good picks.
It's a good pick, but let me tell you, it's not Doom 2.
I mean,
Yes, I went there. Doom 2. You all with your new age, modern, graphically good first-person shooters.
better in every way. Yes.
Better in every way, apart from the fact that Doom 2 was the original. This is where it all came from.
Oh, Doom was the original, wasn't it? Really?
No, Wolfenstein 3D, but then really Doom 2 was what took it to an actual level rather than being just something that made you sick. Doom 2 made you violently ill, but also was incredible. It was another game that was too hard for its own good. You couldn't complete it on Nightmare. It was impossible. It just couldn't be done without the cheats. It was back in the culture when games, especially for PC, and that's why you had back in the early console days, if you remember Game Genie and cheat cartridges. Remember those things? It's because it came from that culture of games were impossible to complete unless you could cheat. And unless you could put God mode, you were never completing level 32. Now, I'm preaching to people that already clearly know the game, but if you don't know the game, Doom 2, I spent many literal days on a PC with Happy Hardcore playing out of the CD player. Yes.
There's an image.
Making myself violently ill on a diet of full fat Coke and gummy bears while having brown and greens scrolling past me at a rate of knots looking for the next spider mastermind to shove my boomstick up. So yes, Doom 2. It's a big hitter and I've got it in at number 11.
That's a good pick. Not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try and make any funny jokes about it. Doom 2 is just one of the all-time greatest games of all time, isn't it? My pick, though, I'm afraid it's going to blow you guys out of the water. And by that, I mean I've lost. Because it's Tekken Tag Tournament on the PS2.
That's three solid choices, to be fair.
I mean, that's a good game, Tekken Tag Tournament. Don't say no.
The original one
say
as
no
well.
two things about it. Yeah. None of this modern rub.
Yeah,
None
I
of this
didn't
modern
even play
rubbish.
the new one.
I'm taking a leaf out of Uncle Bulk's book, and I'm going Tekken Tag Tournament because oh my god, that was when the PS2 was brand new, and the leap in fidelity from PS1 to PS2 was mind-blowing. You kids don't understand now where you get a PS4 and a PS5 and you're like, yeah, but the games look the same, basically. Nah, this was when you would look at the one game and go, I have justified the price of this console. when you look at the game. And Tekken Tag Tournament, I was like, oh, so it's Tekken 3, which was the greatest fighting game on the planet at the time, but better in every way, in much the same way Doom Eternal was better than Doom 2 in every single way. The graphics were better, you could do tag combos, you could do... I mean, that was about it. But it was awesome. They had Tekken Bowling, which was so good. The pins didn't make sense because they were top-heavy, but you just rolled with it. There was a bear bowling, so, these things were allowed. All your favourite characters from previous Tekkens were in there. It was basically MK Armageddon, but for Tekken, and if it wasn't trash.
May I add something on this?
Yes, of course.
As far as I remember, because I've seen this game in the arcade, and it was one of the very few games that it had better graphics on a console.
Yes.
On the PS2 than the arcade.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's another point that a lot of kids used. Even me, someone who never really played at arcades because I never lived near one. It was always a case of you'd have a game come out in the arcade, and then when it came out on the home console, it would be a case of how much worse is it?
It was always the opposite.
Is it worse?
Yeah, it was always the other way around. So when Street Fighter 2 came out, you were looking at magazines. The two magazines at the time in England were Computer and Video Games and Mean Machine. They were the two video games magazines that you bought, and you would see screenshots of Street Fighter 2 and go, "This is gorgeous," and then you got it and saw it with your own eyes on the Super Nintendo, and you go, "This is incredible," and then you look back at those photos of the arcade, or even just go to an arcade, and you're like, "Oh, there really is a difference between Arcade Perfect."
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, with the first couple of Mortal Kombat games, I wasn't really aware of that being a thing. And also, I was just amazed at the graphics in Mortal Kombat 1, because they were a step up from whatever I was playing on the Acorn Electron. But yeah,
but it wasn't.
I'm glad
was
Hercules brought that up.
You should have been playing Muds on your Acorn.
I should have been. Well, I mean, we had Repton, it's a different story. But yeah, so yeah, Tekken Tag Tournament. It was one of the games that when it came out, it was like, I mean, I literally had a magazine that would show screenshots of games, and this was like about 6 months before the PS2 came out, and the only console generation gap I'd seen that I was aware of was Mega Drive to PS1. So that was a huge leap. And then from PS1 to PS2, because PS1 games were a huge leap, but a lot of them were still pretty ugly. PS1 games have not aged well visually. And PS2, when Tekken Tag Tournament came out, I was like, that looks so good. And I saw pictures of it in the magazine, and I said, I don't believe it. It can't look that good. And then I played the game and I went, well, everything I know is wrong. Throw that over my shoulder. Tekken Tag Tournament, so good in every way.
Okay, this is the final round of voting tonight, people. So what say us? Let's get that poll. It's Doom 2.
Number 11.
Come on. Doom 2, one of the most important games of all time.
Hang on, I've got to stylize it.
Where we
go.
all realised that the two-barreled shotgun was better than the pump action.
Of course, that's why they call it a super shotgun.
Yeah.
All right, start poll. Yeah, super shotgun was awesome, but it was also kind of unnecessary against anything lesser than like a demon. So regular pump action shotgun was good. I mean, yeah, I was introduced to Doom with Ultimate Doom on the PS1. So that had Doom 1 and Doom 2 put together, minus a couple of levels here and there, and with a couple of bonus ones thrown in. So I was aware that Doom 1 and Doom 2 were these two separate games, but to me, I was always, the Super Shotgun, that's that thing they give you 3/4 of the way through Doom. As I finished Doom 1, it just goes seamlessly into Doom 2. But yeah, Super Shotgun.
And Plasma Rifle, and of course, the introduction of the BFG 9000. How can we forget?
Was that not in Doom 1?
No, you had a Plasma. You did not have the BFG in Doom 1, as far as I remember.
Then yeah, why would you ever play Doom 1?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's because the version I had always had, the version I had obviously came out after they initially came out, so they just consolidated some stuff. I feel Doom 2 probably should have beaten Tekken Tag Tournament, but Tekken Tag Tournament's scary good, though. It is scary good. And also, Bulk, you have to remember, they did just vote the far superior Doom Eternal into a guaranteed spot at number 14. So do they want to throw in 2 Doom games in quick succession, especially when they're out of order like that?
You guys are happy to throw 17 GTA games in there.
Hey, that's Panda. I haven't said a single GTA game yet. Which is crazy to think about.
Not the end of them either.
To round off this evening's edification, it's Spider-Man PS4 for reasons. Okay, so
and Spider Nerd is not even
play
here.
it and you'll find out.
It's so good. Yeah. To watch someone playing it, you're like, it looks all right. But then to play it,
to
you're
play
like,
it is. Yeah,
oh wait, it's really good.
Okay, right. Well, so wrapping up. So that was our 25 to 11, and starting from, so we had in at 25, we had MK Trilogy, a very big hitter from Panda right there. Then Rocket League at 24, COD MW2 23, Resident Evil 4 at 22, Pokemon Red Stroke Blue for 21, 20 was Sonic Generations, 19 Soul Calibur 3 beating Revenge of Shinobi somehow. I don't quite know.
Yeah, somehow, but I'll take it.
And then in at 18 was Resident Evil 3 beating Streets of Rage 2. How
By
did
default.
that happen?
Because people it was because you guys put Streets of Rage 2 too low down. We've been
No, I
labelled.
think you're.
Everyone in the chat.
Well, I don't know, champ. I don't know.
Everyone knew in the chat that Streets of Rage
Okay.
2 should be in the top 10.
That's because they don't have the video game education.
Yeah.
They've never even heard of MUDs.
They don't know what Doom 2 is.
Exactly. 17 was Red Dead Redemption. 16 was not Gunship 2000. It should have been. But it was Halo 2 for some reason. 15, Final Fantasy 8. Quite frankly, one of the best votes tonight. Okay.
I honestly
Final
think-
Fantasy 8.
Gears of War 3, Abe's Odyssey, and Final Fantasy 8. I probably like them all equally. It's so hard to pick between those.
Yes, but clearly the most superior is Final Fantasy 8. Squall and the Gun.
I don't, yeah.
Clearly, the chat has voted.
There you go.
Well-
14, sorry, was Doom Eternal.
The greatest first-person shooter of all time. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, okay. You-
Oh yes.
but then you've never played Quake, so
How dare you? I've never played Quake. Well, I mean, you're right, but I played Quake 2 and 3. I've played Quake 2 and 3. I'm aware of Quake.
13. I'm going to give this an honorary win to Muds, but it was the votes were maybe 1 or 2 or 7 more for MK11.
I'm surprised people didn't leave that to hope to vote it higher. To be honest, I thought 13 was a bit low.
I think
But
they
that's
remembered. I think they remembered Combat League and the backing
Yeah.
tracks and thought, yeah.
They were like, "Wait, Jade? Don't vote.
Tonk, tonk, tonk.
I need to vote for it. Kill it right now."
12, and for the second time this evening, the chat voted correctly with Buster Move 2. Yes.
That's the second upset of the evening, I think.
And the final
Oh,
one
man.
just now wasn't Doom 2 for reasons, or Tekken Tag Tournament 2, or TTTT.
No, sorry, Tekken Tag Tournament 1.
Oh, Tekken Tag Tournament 1. Oh,
Yes.
Sorry, TTT. TTT.
Yes.
All right.
TTT, not TTT.
Yes. It was Spider-Man for the PS4. Somewhere, Super Spider Nerd, Spectacular Spider Nerd has exploded and is also not going to be voting next Tuesday.
And he also won't be hitting someone, because he said he'd hit someone if it wasn't in there. So there we go.
Okay.
Not only was it in there, it was voted without him to be locked in.
So
How'd you like that, Spider Nerd?
how'd you like them apples? Right. Let me hand over to you chaps for our final words. Who wants to go first?
Harps, you go.
You guys better tune in next week, because, the top 10's gonna be a doozy.
I've got some great video clips for next week.
Should I just provide
choices? I've got some great choices for next week.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to provide clips?
choices.
Is that what we're gonna have to do?
Well, I mean, this is top 10 territory. Okay, this is.
I mean, mine don't
I mean-
need clips. They speak.
Yeah,
for
mine don't
themselves.
need clips
If you guys,
either.
Yeah, if you guys want to
Bulk can have
need
his clips.
I'm going to need clips for maybe 3 of them.
Well,
See,
I'm
yeah,
sure
any
there's-
modern games.
I'm sure those clips only exist just so people can see what this game they've never heard of is.
Top 10 will be wild, says Whitney. Speaking
Yeah, it
of
will
wild,
be.
Iraclis has got
There's some
closing
games.
thoughts as well.
Yeah, Iraclis, you're going to be in on the top 10, aren't you, next week?
Yeah, I will be. I will join this time.
Yeah, we'll have 4 choices to
And
choose from. The top
prepare
10.
yourselves for many Mortal Kombat games.
I don't think anyone here likes Mortal Kombat games.
We're down
so
to
we
the
should be
top
okay.
10. He's already lost MK11. So-
Something. The first
Yeah.
place is not a Mortal Kombat game.
Ooh. Color me curious.
Well, I'm going to put it out there that so far, only one person has nominated in two people have nominated only one MK game in their bottom 15. I'm just going to put that out there. Out of 45 possible choices, only 2 have been a Mortal Kombat game. And I'm not going to throw any spoilers out there, but I said earlier I've only got one Midway game in my entire top 25, and when I say
Yeah, but
refer
not-
to Midway, I'm also
And-
referring to the same team.
So you mean Midway Stroke and RS then?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, that's only because you you came back to it at a certain time, didn't you? Gaming in general. But we shall leave it at that.
Yeah, indeed. So, chat, thank you so much for being here and keeping the four of us honest and sane. My co-hosts, Iraklis, the Tinder legend himself, who you're going to hear his top 10 and thoughts next week. Harpalarp, the man, the myth, the streaming and content creating behemoth right there. Make sure you follow him and check his YouTube videos out. They are very well edited and incredibly entertaining. Mr. The Panda, the petulant himself. What can I say apart from probably the best looking guy this half of the screen? Yeah.
I was
Wait a minute. Wait, I resemble that remark.
All right. So yes, that man up there, the man of the immaculate beard, couldn't be better groomed if he tried. In fact, that's just how he naturally is. That's his natural state. He sticks the beard on every stream.
It's just a glue on. There's a spray on.
Yeah, I thought it looked a bit odd.
Yes, I've super enjoyed this. This has been an amazing idea. It was all Harps' idea. So make sure y'all follow everybody here. The follows, the ats, and the channels are all going to be in the screens that are going to be popping up in a minute. But
Can I just say one more thing?
Please do.
Thank you for crediting me, Bulk. It was my idea to do this, but of course, I did steal the idea from having seen someone else do a similar thing. So if you like seeing countdown videos and stuff like this, I would recommend. I would feel remiss to not mention the YouTube channel and Twitch channel Game Attack, because I ripped off their idea, and I think it would be wrong of me to not at least tell everyone that.
Okay.
So they don't watch their video and go, "You're copying considerable conversation." Just full disclosure.
Okay, we could say that. How many subscribers do they have?
Millions.
Nah, like 105,000
Okay, well, I
on
think
YouTube,
well,
and about 110,000 on Twitch.
well, if everyone in the chat here promises to go into Game Attack and then tell them to come over to Considerable Conversations,
Yeah.
then okay,
Yeah, go
fine,
do that.
Fine,
Yes.
but I don't think they need the advertising. It's like
Feel-
it's like Coca-Cola, you know. They don't need the advertising; they just do it anyway because they've got so much money. Why?
Here I am.
I'm not advertising them because I feel they need it. I'm just saying, like, you know, I don't want people to think he's the guy that stole the idea.
It's the right and proper thing to do, and the right
Yes.
and proper thing to do is always the best way, which is
Yes.
why we're going to be saying thank you so much for coming here. You crazy kids, take it easy in there. If the bed falls through, we shall all see you in the spring. Be careful and take all the requisite precautions at the maskless hugging parties. Yeah, GG's everybody, and ciao till next Tuesday. Yeah, Thursday.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Jokes.
Thursday, unsure if we're having a community stream or if I might do a Tekken Not Tuesday on Thursday instead of the community stream. We'll see how he goes with that, because I don't know how many people we're going to have for an MK11 hill right now. I mean, it was only the 12th favourite game, 13th favourite game of all time.
Something like that. Yeah, and it can't possibly be voted later on because it's locked in.
There you go. Right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the music. This absolutely bangs.
Peace.